All right, guys, welcome back. Today we are back with the Newport, and I got some great news, guys. Throughout the period of this month, since the first time we uploaded about getting this, we have finally got some parts. We also have a new camera stick, so now the videos probably won't be as shaky anymore, and we'll probably be able to get some good angles. We'll be able to do more stuff, more shots with this. We also brought our specialty bag of tools. So these are just some random spare tools that I figured would probably be useful. Of course, we got a tape measure. We're going to use this to cut the fuel line. And long story short, we're going to come today and we are going to attempt to get this guy started. Pop the hood right here. So I guess I should clarify first, this is basically the first part to the Will It Run. I guess that's what I'm going to name it because that's technically what it is. So, oh goodness, this is definitely a arm workout. So long story short, we are here at 3 and it closed in I think two and a half hours. And of course, showing age of sitting, you know, we got a tree branch, we got a weed right there growing, all that stuff. Luckily this van's not parked too close if anybody wants this little guy. No one's bought the Impala yet. It's kind of sure up this guy. Yeah, we're going to get this Newport out of here so that way they could put this in here. But anyway, so what we need to do with this car, so luckily it's actually really simple. It's a very simple problem. It's basically, after all the diagnosis and looking around, I kind of realized that this vacuum advance, of course, it's messed up, but if we had to replace this, there's something else in there, that little pickup, we would have to, long story short, it would just be a bunch of hassle to deal with the pickup because there's a little clip that's supposed to be underneath it, securing it in place, and it's not there. So basically, to keep everything simple, we just went ahead and ordered a new distributor. Nice new distributor right there, but I'm going to get some stuff set up and I'll be right back. Okay, so one good thing about today is basically a very cool day. Sun's not out, so we got a lot of ample room working here with getting, you know, not sweating to death. So the way I want to do this, I believe I'm going to make it a combination of a how-to and just a simple Will It Run, which is kind of, I mean, you know, you'll learn it as you watch. I mean, to be honest, this is the very first time I'm doing something like this, so I guess we're all learning together, right? But of course, first and foremost, we're going to remove the air cleaner. We're going to remove this air cleaner, set it right there. We're going to remove this air filter, set it right here, and remove the rest of this, which of course you got to go to the other side right here, and get that hose off. You can kind of lift it off too. Yeah, lift it and keep twisting, turning, and then that should come off. And I'm just gonna set this stove pot. Where am I gonna? I guess I'll put it over here. It's probably no harm done. So what we got to do, of course, measuring the fuel hose, it was 5/16. So I'm going to try to remove some of this dry rotted stuff. At least this line right here, going to try to remove it and just replace it. I got the hose, the inlet hose on the bottom loose enough, so I just gotta use the pliers and the flathead to screw it off. And we're gonna take this distributor off. We're just gonna mark our areas and take it off because it's gonna just save us a lot of trouble trying to time it or do whatever. So what is wrong with this car? Well, if this distributor wants to stay put somewhere, if you look right here, you can kind of see, okay, this is the rotor, and you know, there's a big issue. Take a guess what issue that is. Yep. Both of these are not supposed to be moving like this. We basically have to remove this entire housing. So let's see, I think the easiest way I want to do this is I'll probably just give me a second, I gotta take a little picture. All right, so when you remove a distributor, you want to make sure that you know exactly where this rotor is pointing, because you can only make this thing point one direction. This rotor is not going to go Willy Wonka all over the place. It's only going to point in one direction. So you want to take note of that, because when you put the new distributor in, it's going to, if you put it in any other way other than this, you're either not going to run, or it's probably just not going to run, or it's going to hiccup here and there, but nothing's still going to happen. So please make sure you remember exactly where your rotor's facing, and there's a notch right there, so of course you can't put the rotor just in any old way. If you look to the top, there's a little dark spot, that's the notch. It's only one way this can go. So you can remove that, remove this spindle bit. I'm just gonna call it a spindle bit for now. And also notice here, there's only one way that this can go in. So just keeping track with the distributor. And this right here that's the that's the pickup point. So basically how this works, these notches are supposed to send a magnetic signal to this, and if this is loose, because it's very sensitive to distance, if this is loose and moving around too much like this, your car's not going to run, or at least your moper engine is not going to run, the ones that come with this or any electronic distributor. So we're going to remove this vacuum advance. We're going to remove this, see if we can remove this, because I removed it before. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta unplug that. Oh, don't forget to unplug this right here too. It's the male female clamp. So we're going to unplug this right here. Just basically pull on it like that. And now we're going to remove the pickup. It just basically snaps in here like this. Take that off. And out with the slightly new. I think this was replaced, honestly, because that looks a little too shiny to be old. So with all the debris around here, we're going to want to brush around and make sure that nothing falls into the engine. But I'm just going to kind of blow on it before I do remove it. And as you can see, this vacuum advance here, that little arm is what pulls it this way, because the vacuum is sucking inward through this hose from the intake. So naturally your arm's going to move this way, which will advance the little pickup towards this way. So let's take this little guy out. There's a little notch right here that holds it in place. And here we go, out with the old vacuum. So setting this aside, now our distributor is exposed. So basically down there will be the I don't remember what they're called exactly, but they're spring loaded, and it basically controls your advance. So as it spins faster, it's going to advance naturally your distributor as well. It's going to advance your rotor. Now guys, I'm sorry if I'm butchering some of the terminologies, please forgive me. That bolt down in there is what's holding the distributor, or at least what I think is holding it in. I've never really removed one before. Well, I mean, actually no, I take that back. I have removed one before, but the screws were actually inside the housing, which in this case they're not. So I believe that little bolt right there is what holds it in. So give me a second, I'm gonna figure out the size, and we're gonna do our best to get that out. All right, so found out that we're probably working with a 13 millimeter. So basically this bolt right here, we're gonna remove this. And so to do that, we're gonna stick our wrench underneath this AC bracket, and we're going to neatly get it in there good. And we're just gonna try and break it loose. See if we could. Oh, it's already coming loose. Look at that, good news, already coming loose. So we're just gonna loosen that up. Try and get this screw right here. To prevent our washer from falling into a crevice, we're going to use a flathead to try and get it out. Just kind of slide it under there. Slide inside the screw. Lift it up. And there we go. And here we go. All right, so now the bracket can come out. And here we are. So I believe that bracket is what mainly holds the distributor in, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't really see anything else that would warrant it to not come out. So looks like, because it's probably been in here for ages, we're gonna have to do a little bit of twisting and breaking it loose. Oh, also before we do that, we want to make sure we blow around the area, because I don't have any compressed air on me. So we're just gonna give it the best blow and make sure nothing's loose. I gave some more intense blows off camera, so that should be good enough. Kind of brush around there a little bit, nothing to loosen everything on the top. And as we can see, it's just a little more cleaner. So now it's time to try and get this thing off. All right guys, so additional comment I want to make. We can see here, there's no nuts or bolts or any screw ins, anything that looks like it needs to be screwed into. All we see is a shaft right here, and the only contact point is this part right here, which if you pay attention right there, it mates up to the engine block. So long story short, this little edge right here is basically that right there, and it's seated against the engine block, which means, judging by how old this thing looks, it's probably not been removed in ages. So basically it's going to take a little bit to break that loose. So if it seems like it's having a hard time coming out like it is now, like I could feel some movement, right? You can feel some movement, but it's not coming out. That means we have to break that seal. So in the meantime, that's exactly what we're gonna do. There, okay, yeah, this works. Let's see how this works. Just look right there. Basically, it's where we're at. Try and get this thing out. See how that screwdriver's kind of getting in there? It's coming up. Now my screwdriver doesn't want to fit. Oh yeah, this is just dirty. That's what the oil filter's for, right? Up, and there it goes. Pops right out. So now, once again, you want to pay attention to where your little rotor's facing. We can see it's facing this way, that notch. So as it comes out, it has to go in the same way. So as it comes out, so paying attention to how this distributor and rotor is designed, we can see it has a notched edge right here, which is basically where it seats in. If you look right inside the engine block where the distributor is, you can see, hold on, let me get a light, you can't see anything. If you look right in there, oh yeah, you can faintly see it, but if you look right in there, there's a notch. Yeah, there's a little notch right there. There's a little notch right there, right in there, connected to the camshaft. That's basically what's in charge of spinning your distributor rotor. You still want to make sure also that you don't bump the engine over, because if you bump the engine over and that little notch moves, you are basically at risk of putting it in 180 and it never running right again, which means to the scrapper. I'm just kidding. Basically just means you gotta time it all over again. But yeah, excuse my shakiness, but that right there is exactly where it seats in. So now gotta put this new one in, out with the old, in with the new. Just realized I forgot to remove the vacuum, so let's do that. Out we go. Okay, so here we have the two distributors here, comparison test. So before we put it in, we want to make sure everything's right. So two distributors here for comparison. Of course, we know which one's the brand new one, which one's the old one. So as we can see, this one has a seal right here, that one has a seal right there, keep the oil out. This one has two notches right here, and this one also has two notches right there. And this one also has, you can see a notched edge right here, another notched edge right there. This one has a little indented ring, and this one does not. The biggest thing we want to look at is the shaft length. The 400 and 440 are not the same. Be careful when you're ordering. If you want to order a distributor and you decide, oh, let's just get the 440 because it's the same. No, it is not the same. It's supposed to be 4 inches, I believe. So, yep, perfect. Look at that. So as you can see, the top of the old one touches the bottom of the new plate, and the bottom of the old plate touches the top, or touches the shaft of the new one. So this is for a 400. A 440 would be slightly longer, which means your distributor would be sticking up and you could not run this thing at all. And if you even tried, you'd probably risk destroying the engine, probably risk destroying other stuff you don't need to. So now we got this out the way, we can finally put the new distributor in. So first, before we do, of course, we want to make sure we can see where the rotor's facing. So we're just going to remove these clamps. Remove that. This comes off like that. And off with the distributor. And now the rotor, we can see it's facing this way. And if we remember where the orientation was, the rotor was facing this way. And of course, the notch is, the notch is not turned or changed, so we shouldn't really have an issue. So we're gonna turn the rotor to the left a little bit. And once again, see how that notch, which way it's facing? It's very important. So now we're going to install it inside the distributor. Let's make sure there's no hanging debris coming out, because we don't want stuff. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, okay, just make sure your engine's clean. I don't think that should harm anything. Oh, why? Okay, still not all the way in there. Just gotta wait till it finally seats. Looks like it's in there. Okay, basically just gonna push it down a little bit, push it down to make sure it's all seated. You can see exactly where it's seated in there. Now to reinstall this bracket. So now we're trying to install our bracket inside that little hole right there. That hole right there next to the shaft. Easiest way of doing this is probably sliding this shaft right through here, right down through there. So see how I'm orienting, right? You want to turn the little opening towards the shaft. Okay, so now, sorry, still trying to get this in. Yeah, you know, the reality of working on cars is, if you think it's going to be a 5-minute job, expect it to probably be 3 times as long. Okay, now it's finally oriented correctly, so I think I got to just push it down. Screw's not in there. So this is what calls for a little bit of some handy action. So I'm looking at the screw. So I want to show you guys what I'm doing. So right now, if you look to the right, sorry, I'm a little shaky. If you look to the right, you probably can't see the screw hole, but I'm basically trying to guide the screw inside this hole. It's a hole right there. Yeah, see? So basically what I'm doing is I'm guiding this around, guiding this little hook, and there's a hole right there we have to screw it into. So basically, long story short, get this little shaft, and with this bolt, you want to make sure you line it up with this hole. You want to get it in there and screw it, and after you get it in, it's basically screw it down in there. As you can see, your bracket is basically in. All right, so now it's pretty tight in there, so now we just got to tighten it down. And that is in there. So as you can see now, distributor is not moving. It's not mobile at all. It's pretty solid straight in there. And also, let's test our rotor. Let's make sure our rotor's not acting funky. And look at that. Look at that guy. Ah, yes. So what exactly does that mean? Ignition wise, looks like it's probably ready to go. And once again, checking our rotor, making sure it's lined up, making sure nothing funky's happening. Looks like it's back where it was before. Basically, when you install distributor caps, you want to make sure that by making sure that you put all the wires in the right firing order, you want to keep all the wires on this cap and transfer them to this cap. And also, we notice there's a vent right here. It looks like a vent. It's some sort of cap. If you look in there, there's a little hole, so it's probably a vent. All right, so let's see. How am I gonna? You know, I could just throw this on, but why would we do it that way? Why on earth would we do it that way, right? Let's just put the new one on, call it a day. To be honest, I really don't know if that's really gonna matter or if I should even spend the time doing that, but we're gonna do it anyway. Now we're putting the distributor in. Oh, yeah, that's not right. That needs to go over. Put that on there. Probably clip that like. And these are definitely pretty tight tolerances. Probably gonna have to squeeze really hard on that. I wonder if I can use this flathead and do that. Hopefully that won't hurt anything. There we go. Oh, okay, it popped itself. It tried to pop itself off. There we go. Finally. Goodness gracious. Okay. So we basically put all the old wires. Judging by this orientation, this wire should go here. And this wire should go here. I don't know if I heard a pop for this one. This wire should go here. Actually, we're just gonna leave it that there because you notice it's kind of getting a little difficult right there. So pay attention to this spot. So okay, now this wire goes right here, and this is me doing this without knowing the firing order. For now, once again, we're gonna learn everything. So let's say you get to the last few and you're trying to figure out how to, because this distributor now, you notice it has limited motion. Keep a mental track of every single plug wire and take this one off like that. Take this one off as well. Okay, take that one off. Once again, we're taking a mental, and we're taking this one off too. So that way, okay. And now we're going to take the main wire off. So this whole time, I'm looking at all 4 wires. Looking at all 4 wires, paying attention to all 4 of them. 5 of them, actually. This one goes there, that one goes there. This one goes there, that one goes there. This one's next, and that one's next. That's the main coil wire. That's the main coil wire. Oh, I hope I don't screw this up since it's the last. Whew. Come on, get off. Finally. Okay, come on out. All right, so if my mental is correct, this wire is the last wire. So let's go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, is this the coil wire? I don't think so. Yeah, no, it's not the coil wire. 4. Okay, I'll wrap it up. 4 and 5. So now our coil, whoops, that's not the coil wire. Well, maybe this was probably not the best idea. Let's see. Okay, probably this might be the coil wire. This might be the coil wire. This might be the coil wire. Okay, so Wait, no, not this. This is not the coil wire. This might be the coil wire. Just check it, just trace it. Oh wait, no, this is the, well, yeah, it looks like I'm already screwing up, so I'm gonna have to look up what the firing order is on this thing and make sure that I didn't screw anything up. So, but for now, let's just hope and pray that that's on there correctly. So yeah, I'm just gonna look this back up because I think I just messed it up, which goes to show you this stuff is definitely, you know, you want to be very careful. Be very careful. This was getting on my nerves. Hey, oh, hey. And you know what? I'm going to try and whack this thing. I'm going to try and whack this thing at some point probably. Anyway, we are back. Day number 2, and we already installed the distributor. Okay, so where we leave off? Well, I think I jacked up the order of the plug wires. So luckily, in the midst of that, we brought our handy dandy notebook. So I basically drew out the firing order right here. This is facing the front of the engine and this is facing the side of the engine. This right here is the firing order of this engine right here. The firing order for these are the same on all the big blocks until you get to the 360 and below. Then it goes counterclockwise. 1 8 4 3 6 5 7 2. 1 8 4 3 6 5 7 2. So first and foremost, as always, we're going to remove the wing nut. Unscrew that. We're going to remove the top of our stove pot. Now we're going to remove the air filter, and then comes the PCV valve. So we're going to remove that, and there we go. So going off of this firing order, we can see, if you look real closely, this is where number 1 starts. You can kind of see number 1 on the distributor right there, and that wire loops all the way around to number 1, which would be right there, this wire right here. So to verify that, we're gonna trace this wire all the way back up here, around there. Okay, so I think I see an issue, and I'm very glad I drew this diagram out. So number 1 is actually supposed to be right here, because I traced the wire. This is the wire for number 1, but it's right here where number 8 is supposed to be, and number 8 is actually back there. Yeah, I don't know if it was already like this or if it was because of my fault, my stupidity, but it already wasn't running, and it was only hiccuping, which could mean a multitude of things. Maybe some of them were right, but the rest were wrong, or some of them were able to ignite a fuel mixture, but it was basically detonating. It wasn't on the right timing. So that's why it's very important to check your plug wires, probably even if, you know, because someone else was already messing with this distributor. So who knows? Once again, it was probably my fault, so I'm just gonna take blame for most of it. Don't do everything I did. So going by this is number 1, and that little dot above the center circle is where our vent is. A very good landmark. That means that this wire is, yeah, it's a step off. I don't know if step is the official terminology, but once again, look right here. Number 1 is directly next to that vent hole, so we're just gonna move it. Oh boy, it would be very, very bad if I got every single wire wrong. Oh goodness, this is just a mess. This right here is a mess. I don't know whose idea this was. That hole's right there. We gotta try and get it off. So while there was a short interval, I took the time to see if the fuel line would budge. first remove this little piece of hose, of course. That's band-aid up, so we'll just simply take this off, twist easily. But as you can tell, the reality of old vehicles, if a hose has been on there for basically since the beginning of time, it's not going to come off very easily. So this is where we come in with pliers, and even sometimes that doesn't work. So we're going to get the flathead. Goodness gracious, it should come off. No, don't slide out. Yeah, this thing needs to be replaced. Stat. Or you can just pull it out and do it this way, I guess, if that's how it wants to get done. Man, this just goes to show. Old parts really can be old. I don't even know what that means, but go figure. At this point, I don't even care about breaking it. What am I going to use it for? Dry hose collection? Oh, it's, wow, this thing is, yeah, this right here is the end. This right here is the end of the barb. So it's going to take some, you know, I think this is just better to cut this, but I don't have any cutters on me right now. I don't think. Probably just going to have to break it off, honestly. Golly. At this point, it's time for drastic measures. I'm not dealing with that tiny little stupid old hose. This is a hacksaw, so I want to be careful. Finally, I think I got most of this. Okay. Oh, well, finally was able to get this broken off. Man, be warned whenever working on old cars, if you run across a hose, that thing is very likely a rock. So you're gonna have to come up with some creative, evasive measures to get that off. So now we can insert this back in there, and that should be good. All right, so now we got our fuel hose up here. So the way we're gonna test this out is we are going to stick this hose onto that barb right there, and we're gonna see if it actually fits. So 5/16, it should be 5/16, that should be 5/16, so 3/8. Either way, I believe they'll both work. Or maybe if it is 3/8, it probably would be a little larger, but let's see. So just fit this on there, kind of gotta get it on there, and yep, looks like it fits. So now what we're gonna do is get it off, wiggle it. Look how easy that was. Why couldn't the old hose be like that? Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this one off, and it's also dry rotted as well. I'm gonna take that hose off right there. So let's do that. It looks like it should come off, right? Let's find out. Never mind, it's not this one, it's this one right here. Either way, we'll still see if it comes out. So of course it's not gonna slide right out, so this is where we get some flathead action. And off it goes. So now we can remove our hose completely, kind of wedge it out of these weird crevices right here. And out we go. This hose would probably be just a little over, I'm guessing 2 or 3 feet. I mean, as you could tell, when hoses get real old like this, real old and hard, they do not move. They don't really bend well anymore. You know, they easily snap and break. We're gonna install the hose right there. You working, bro? What am I doing? I'm literally in the way. Like that. So now we're gonna see how far of a line we can reach here to get to that spot. Looks like from here to there, with enough wiggle room, we could probably cut right here. So we're gonna try and cut. So we're gonna make a cut right here. And there we go. So now we can just simply stick it onto there. Want to blow any dust out, and we'll be good. So now we can stick it in there after taking our measurements. Oh no, it doesn't fit. I'm just kidding. Let's see. All right, so now the last and final step that we actually have to do to make sure that this thing is guaranteed to get some gas is we got to install the fuel line to the bottom of the engine, which is where the fuel pump is. So the best way to do this, since we can't really take a line and just compare it and measure it, we need to attach a line onto the actual fuel pump and then run the line all the way over to the door, because the way we're going to set this up, my ideal goal is to put the fuel tank in the passenger seat. We want to take our fuel hose and we want to put our fuel clamp on first, because if you put the hose on before putting the clamp on and you get it secured, you're going to have to go through the whole process again of taking it off. Of course, it's not going to be as difficult because, you know, it's a new hose, it's not all old and dry rotted, but you don't want to have to take the hose off again after getting it in there just to put a clamp on and then put it in there again. Taking our already clean clamp, we're going to push it on there, smooth it on there like that, slide it on there. So we have our line running from the passenger door all the way up above to here and there. And let's see, I think I could run it underneath. I think I could run it behind this stuff. That way it can be a little more secure. Get that in there. You just run it under all that stuff in there. So that way, you know, it's not going to be flopping all over the place and or possibly get caught in the belt. Okay, so our main prerogative is to get that hose, that new hose, onto that barb. So now that that's on there good, thank goodness, let us put the hose clamp on. Because I was trying to get the hose clamp on, it wasn't getting on as easily, so I basically unscrewed it a little bit, made it a little more looser, and finally got it to be able to slide over. Just slide this guy over like this. Now we're tightening it up. I already tightened it a little bit, just a tiny bit, because I need to use two hands, one to kind of hold it in place while I'm tightening it. Yeah, you just want to make sure it's all snug, you know, it doesn't have to be too tight, but just want to make sure the hose doesn't come off, which it probably won't. All right, so finally we got everything back together. So we got our distributor hooked up correctly, of course. We got our plug plugged in. Oh yeah, by the way, I gotta warn you guys, if you ever put a distributor in a 400 or any type of motor vehicle, make sure you put the pickup wire above the distributor before you install it, or else you could possibly get stuck in there. You might have to remove the entire distributor to get it back out again. But luckily I didn't have to do that. I had to kind of just wedge it out a little gently, of course, because it's old, and it eventually came out. But I'm going to make sure that's fastened before we do anything else. So now, next step, which is the big grand finale, we're going to see if this thing pickups. So we now are at the goal. We are at the point. So basically, fuel line wise, just hook up to the tank, wait till it sucks out the fuel. With consistent cranking and firing it off, the pump will definitely be sucking up the fuel regardless. But before we start, you always want to make sure that you look over the engine. You want to make sure your oil is decent. You want to make sure your coolant's up to par. If you're going to drive it, you want to make sure your transmission fluid's up, because you don't want to be stalled or destroy your transmission potentially while you're driving. The power steering fluid, I already checked. It's pretty full. Not exactly sure if it's red, but it's full. Either way, it's going to need changing anyway. The radiator actually looks good. Look inside the radiator, and guess what? It's actually, okay, come on. It's actually pure green coolant. Pure green coolant. Look at that. That coolant, I don't know if you can see it, but it's basically green. Yeah, you can kind of see a green highlight in there, green highlight. Like, just judging by that, and also the trans fluid and the oil, it actually looks like this car was, but yeah, it looks like this car was kind of, you know, the fluids was taken care of as far as maintenance goes. Once again, some stuff was done a little sloppy as far as some wires and hoses, but other than that, it's like, check the oil, and it's not, it literally, like, this oil isn't even black. It's clear, basically clear. Let's see if you can get a, we can get a better light. And I think it's full too. Look at that. Okay, come on. But yeah, look at that. That oil looks clear. It looks clear. It looks clean. It doesn't look all black and dirty. Like, look at that. It literally looks like a clean engine. So somebody was taking care of this thing, and I don't know, they probably just gave up on it because they were like, oh, this thing is, yeah, that oil is definitely full. Yeah, someone was taking some decent care, or at least trying to get it running. My theory, someone was probably trying to get it running and it just wasn't working. Probably weren't very savvy in ignition stuff, so they were just kind of giving up the ghost, probably thinking, oh, it's worn out, it's old, and blah, blah, blah. To make this story even a little more weirder, I'll tell you a little bit about the history of the car, somewhat. The brake fluid, I have, of course it's always doing this. Brake fluid It's actually pretty full, and for what it is, I mean, for what it is, you know, it's clean enough to get home, and it's actually pretty full. You can see right there, it's the bottom of it's rusty, the reservoir, but other than that, now I'm gonna top that front part off. The rear of it looks good, so that's good. Last but not least, the transmission fluid. So we're gonna check our transmission dipstick, and the last time I checked it, it was pretty red. I think, of course, I know why it was red. So let's see, let's look at this. So as you can see, it's pretty red, pretty good. Red means it's really good. Look at that, that's bright red. That is bright red. Looks like it's at the add one pipeline, but you know, it's not running yet, so we won't really fully know until you get it running. But all right, so yeah, okay, what am I gonna, you know what? And also got to readjust this to make sure it's not gonna be burning on the manifold. So looks like we probably should be able to try and crank it up. All right, guys, we got the starting fluid. We're about to really see if this works. I believe it really should work, because at the end of the day, the distributor was really the only thing that was funky. I mean, when he sprayed starting fluid in last time, the old manager, he said it cranked over, said it kind of hiccuped. So we got everything set back up. We got the distributor in place. We got fuel lines running, even though we're not running any fuel, so you don't have to worry. But let's just see how this works. So before we start, we're going to turn it over first just to see how it cranks again. We already heard it, but we're just going to hear it again just to see how it's looking. How's the battery going? If I remember correctly, it's probably this key. I'm probably wrong, or no, it's probably the axis key. Yeah, I think this is the right key. Okay, so it's cranking. It's a good sign. All right. All these guys want to see it start as well.
We do. He been working hard, man. He been all over that, bud. Let's get it going.
Yeah, we've been doing this all day.
2-day process.
Exactly, two-day process. 2-day process. Now we officially get to see. So we're just gonna spray it in there. Let's see. I want to open up the. There you go. Appreciate it.
Choke.
Spray it in there. I'm gonna do it one more time, but I'm gonna open up the valve this time. Now, time for the moment of truth. Let's see if all this hard work did one thing, at least one thing. At least a hiccup. Oh, come on, what the heck? Don't tell me the battery's dead. Okay, we're gonna have to do round 2. Spray starting fluid in again. Sometimes some of this stuff takes a little bit.
Keep in mind, guys, it's been years since this bad boy been running, so just keep that in mind.
Been years and years. Actually, because somebody sprayed it in as I'm cranking it.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, I forgot I gotta open up the throttle too. So let's see. Let's also open up the throttle, because that'll probably help. All right. All right.
Hit it.
Okay.
I think you need a stronger battery.
It's either the battery, or if it's not popping off, probably got to look at how the wiring, how does the let's see.
The distributor.
Yeah, distributor wires and stuff, because it seems like it stops at some point. Like it'll crank.
And then it kicks like it's catching.
Yeah, like it's catching, but then it'll like stop as if like something is igniting, but it's igniting against the engine where it'll stop. So, let me see. Let me look at the wiring. Right. All right, guys. So it looks like we're gonna have to look over what we did again, because we got to make sure that all the wiring's hooked up, coil wires are hooked up right. Either that or the battery is probably just kind of bad. Who knows? Because this battery's been sitting here for who knows how long. Okay, so after doing a bit of looking around and questioning and thinking, one possibility is these wires could be off by one spot. So like, let's say this is number one. Number one could possibly be right here, and vice versa. This could possibly be there, that could possibly be there. So I'm just gonna switch all those around, and I'm gonna see if it starts after doing that, because otherwise I'm gonna have to do some more diving. All right, guys, so I basically moved every spark plug wire up one, and I heard something different. As it was cranking, I heard a so it's probably trying to fire coming out of the carb. Let's see. We're gonna just spray some starting fluid in there. So we're gonna spray some starting fluid in there. Well, what do you know? Looks like I really did mess up the... Whoa! Wasp. Looks like I did mess up the distributor again. Oh, goodness. I think I need to go to distributor school at this point, but look at that. This guy's trying to pop off. It knows it wants to run. So, yeah, my theory correct. It was messed up a little bit. Distributor wires are still off. Order was messed up, so it wouldn't be running, but we're going to get some other guys out here, do the same thing again, round 2, and we're going to see if this guy actually was about to pick up. You can see that. You can hear this guy run. Look at that. This guy wants to run. All right, let's go get some extra help. All right, guys, time for round 2. We got the guys here again. The other dude's not here, unfortunately. He's way out somewhere, so we got to do this just like this. So, yeah, I'm going to need one of you guys to basically hold the starter fluid, spray in there.
You want the choke open?
Yeah, choke always open. Yeah, and then I'll just crank it up. So, start spraying when I start cranking.
You went back to the drawing board, so now it's time. Here go your keys, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So now it's time, just the moment of truth.
Moment of truth. To see if this guy will run. Oh, of course, I gotta get the keys out of my pocket. Always something. All right. So with those hiccups, it looks like it should be promising. Got the Newport keys here. Ignition there. All right. Is the choke open? All right. Start spraying a little bit in there.
Do a little poop. Gonna do a little poop. That's it.
Yeah.
You got a little poop shot out.
Yeah. All right.
So now we might be ready to fire up.
Yep. Y'all ready? All right.
Oh, choke is open.
Choke's open. Start spraying.
Start spraying.
Oh, whoa. Oh, you good?
That was still on fire. Yeah, that was still on fire. Then when it did that poof, ignited the fire.
Yeah, that's
What's it mean?
no, it just means it's igniting. Like it does, like when you do starts like this, that does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
That is one of the risks though. So it's like, 'cause I need to make sure, 'cause I don't have a fire extinguisher on me, so that's the problem. I don't know if it's
I threw that song in there though. But
in there.
yeah, I think we got one in the back or something. It ain't on fire right now.
No, it's not on fire. No.
You just saying for if you try to do it again. I got you.
Yeah.
You can get a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, we get a fire
I
extinguisher.
get a fire extinguisher.
We'll try to fire this bad boy up.
Oh man. Well, we finally got I guess we definitely got the ignition stuff settled. Man, who knew this would be so difficult to do? Now he's here. Yeah, for the sake of safety, quote unquote, I think I'm gonna put this air cleaner on, of course without the filter, so that way if something does happen or catapult. And I'm sorry if I'm shaky, but I don't know if it's because I'm doing a lot or if it's because this is actually quite a moment here. But make sure we get this fire hazard of a went off. So I mean, I don't know, I guess that backfire means it's yeah, I just hope that firing order's right. That's what I hope. Okay, let's just put this on for safekeeping. All right, we're not gonna stop, we're not gonna give up. All right, guys, it's coming to closing time, and so I'm going to wrap it up, call it a bit of a day, because we did not get it running today, but that doesn't mean that it's all over yet. We still have a lot of work to do as far as now diagnosing why this thing is not popping off. So it looks like it is popping off. I gotta come to a good conclusion, to be honest. I'm not very sure if it's popping off because it's finally getting the right ignition, or if it's popping off because it's getting the wrong ignition and instead of backfiring out of the intake sometimes. So we gotta go do our homework again and come back the next day and figure it out. All right, guys, it's day 3 and temperature check. It's 89 degrees and we're So after doing a little bit of research and homework, I think I've realized that I've actually jacked up the firing order again, but not really as terribly. It's more in that I just moved them to the wrong spot. So like one's right here, 1-8. Let me see, give me a second. This is 1-8-4-3-6-5-7-2, but really it's supposed to be 1-8-4-3-6-5-7-2. So 2 is supposed to be right here, and the reason it was popping off but not doing anything was because it was backfiring. Basically, it was like it was popping off here and there, but it wasn't adjusted correctly. So I got to figure out how to twist this distributor rotor. I hope that fuel line is not in the way. It seems to be pretty close to it. I don't know, I got to do some digging with this, but we'll figure it out. So of course, we're once again going to remove everything. So reverting back to our original chart, we're just going to put the plug wires back in the same order we put them in before. And there we go. Okay, so I got all the firing order, got all the wires back to where they should be. Basically back to where I put them at first before I moved it around, twisted it around. The reason I say twisted, because technically you could probably twist the distributor this way and it'll probably do the same thing. But you would have to twist it by quite some degrees. But then also I'm thinking about this. So if we started it like this, if we attempted to start it like this the first time and nothing happened except the engine was turning over, and as soon as starting fluid or combustible fuel was added, it started hesitating. Basically, it acted as if the battery was dead, even though it wasn't. So the only reason that could be is if this is the correct firing order and if everything is installed the way it should be. I think a big problem is probably that this distributor is possibly, very likely, 180 degrees off. And if that is the case, then basically what that means is all we have to really, either we could just switch the plug wires around 180 degrees, or we could just take the distributor out and just flip the rotor 180 degrees. So, which, you know, just basically take it out, because there's only one way it can go in. Actually, there's two ways it can go in. I'll take that back. There's really only two ways it can go in if you're not paying attention enough. And I think what happened was, because I didn't even think about this, that distributor bracket was strangely loose. When I put the wrench on, it didn't even have to break loose. So it basically wasn't even really down in there to begin with. So that kind of means whoever was messing with this distributor before had absolutely no idea what they were doing. So it looks like we're going to have to actually suck it up and probably do some timing work here, which basically would mean we'd probably have to take out spark plug number 1, spin the engine over until the compression stroke happens, listen for the compression stroke, and then look at the engine timing marks down there, and go about measuring it that way. Because if we just flip it 180 and it's actually not the case, you could probably risk blasting a muffler off, which we don't want to do that. So we're going to do what we can and what we need to make sure that this is set up correctly. So our number 1 spark plug's right there. Gently get that off. All right, so for my little lookup, I think these types of engines take plugs that are on average 5/8 of a size. So we're going to see if this is 5/8. It doesn't seem to be seating on, so let's go down a little lower. We're gonna try 9/16. Nope, still too large. So now we're gonna try 1/2. Seems like 1/2 still too big. Now we're gonna try 7/16. Okay, 7/16 is way too small. And give me a second. So actually it seems like we need to increase in size, so give me another second. All right guys, so after a little trial and error, it looks like even 18 millimeters is not big enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take this adjustable wrench that I borrowed and I'm just gonna stick it in there, see if I can get it fit. Alright guys, so the spark plug is right there. It's an AC Delco, means it's probably a good one. And I'm just gonna try and get this adjustable wrench up there and take a measurement. Maybe try to get it off. Oh, come on. It's a little bit larger. Okay, think I got it. Think I got the size measured. Kind of just stuck it up there. Sorry for my limited visibility. So if I'm correct, it's lefty loosey, righty tighty. before I do this, I'm actually going to make sure that they have a size that's basically this, because if they don't have a size that's basically this, then we're kind of just screwed. All right guys, so it looks like we don't have any, because I think I measured it, it's probably 13/16 the size for the spark plug. So we're just gonna have to do this with the adjustable wrench. Take it off, get this funky angle again. Whew, we don't lie. Imagine holding the camera and working on cars at the same time. Okay, so let's see if I can break this loose. Don't want to strip anything. Oh, some dust fell. Oof. Oh man, mommy. Remind me not to do that again. Nah, it's not working. It's probably not working, honestly. It's pretty tight in there. All right, guys, we have been saved today because I was just about to close up shop temporarily and go all the way to AutoZone to get a 13/16 for the spark plug. But on our way out, we ran into the right guy, used car guy right there. Same guy who was in the other video, which I think is uploaded by now. And he found us a 13/16 right here. And coincidentally, it's literally a spark plug socket, because look, you see a little rubber thing in there. So wow, this is perfect. So now all we got to do is reopen shop. Basically, you lift open this hot hood. Burning up today, goodness gracious. Oh, come on, get out of here, wasp. I don't know, that wasp's been getting annoying. Lisa's not trying to make a home in this. Of course, remove this, remove that, and we are back in business. So let's set up again and actually try and get this socket. Actually, let's see if the socket fits, because if not, well, you know, we're out of luck again. We got our 13/16 socket. We're gonna see if it works. Spark plug's right there. Oh, that seat's on perfect. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, so now we got to get a socket on there, or a wrench. All right, so now we got our 13/16 socket. We're ready to put it in. So we're gonna basically bolt it up, hook it up to the socket. All right, so we're gonna go into the spark plug. It seems we run into an issue. It looks like when we put it in, it's not going all the way in. So if you notice right here, our spark plug socket is not going in all the way. So the reason why is either because it's too short or because it's not getting onto the gasket. So as you can see here, if you just push it in a little bit and do a little twisting, you'll notice it kind of starts to seat onto the actual bolt part. Okay guys, I don't know what happened to this stupid camera, but for some reason I wasn't recording when I took the spark plug out, so I'm just going to do the same thing I did over again to show you guys what I did. So I basically took our socket set, put it together, and now, because we want to make sure we're on the loose setting, basically what you do is, if you want to get this out, because unfortunately I already broke it loose, so I can't really show the brake process again, but basically just put a little downforce on it, and when you get into your spark plug, you want to insert the socket like this, and you want to basically wiggle it around and push it on, because there's a rubber seal on the very top that's supposed to grab onto your spark plug and pull it out. Once again, when you start, try and get a little bit of gentle downforce to break it loose using both hands, because you don't want to strip it. Take the socket off, and then we're going to see if we could get the rest out with our fingers, which yes we can, and here we go. Now that we have our number one spark plug out, it gives us the opportunity to look it over, and so far it looks okay, and it looks a little, you know, there's a little charry white stuff, a little bit burnt on the, or no, I think that's antifreeze. I mean, not antifreeze, I think that's anti-seize. It looks like somebody put anti-seize on it before they put it in. That's actually a very good sign. Shows that the previous owners and installers were actually caring. We can see the difference between the spark plug tip and the electrode looks pretty decent. So looks like it should go in this AC Delco. Knowing that these cars originally came with Champions and apparently they weren't so good, the AC Delco should get us by. So it looks like this number one plug is good. And it's not all rusty. I mean, yeah, there's surface rust, but you know, it's not all rusty or messed up. The electrode itself's not all cracked and jagged up. You know, the tip's pretty clean. Looks like we're getting good connections. So far, I'd say this spark plug looks good. Now that we got cylinder one exposed, spark plug wise, we get to see where the compression stroke for number one is, which is important, because as soon as we see the compression stroke for number one, we'll realize where the rotor really is. And if it's at the compression stroke for one, but it's not anywhere near one, then that means the timing's off. That means, you know, the distributor rotor is probably 180. We're gonna test and see where the rotor is after it hits cylinder number one. So we're gonna crank it over. And of course, while I forget to hook the battery, now we're gonna see how it cranks and find number one. So if my ears are correct, one way I was able to tell that that's probably cylinder number 1, I heard a that little chew is basically the compression stroke of number 1, because now that there's no compression inside cylinder number 1, it's not going to be consistent. So that means with it passing through cylinder number 1, the rotor should be facing 180 degrees south. And if this is the case, we're gonna have to do this again to make sure when we hear the same sound, it lands in the same spot, because if it lands in the same spot, oh boy, isn't that gonna say something? All right, I'm gonna do it again to make sure. Landed right there this time. All right, I think I'm gonna do one more time, and I'm gonna get some extra assistance so that way I can put my thumb over the cylinder 1 and really know where this is. Yeah, so now we got our, oh, you good? Yeah, cool. Yeah, we got our guy to help us out. So now we're going to put our finger over cylinder number 1, see if there's a compression cycle. So I'm just gonna make sure I can put my finger, I'm actually putting my finger into the, it's always hard to tell on these blocks. Okay. I'm probably going to have to go under the vehicle to do this correctly. So I'm just gonna feel if there's a compression coming out. Spark plug holes right here. I'm gonna reach my fingers over the hole, and I'm gonna wait till I feel compression. Stop. So we just felt some air come out of there. So let's see where the rotor is. Looks like the rotor is in the right spot. Crank it over. All right, stop. Okay, so I heard it come out that time over there. So as it passed over 1, I heard it come out over here. So if it's in time and everything is correct with the distributor, that probably means we got to rotate the distributor a little bit, adjust the timing. Stop. Compression stroke again, and it's right there this time. Wonder, let me see here, because I hope that's not 180 degrees, because I did feel something come out. Or maybe that was just a different cycle. All right, so this will be the last time, because if this one feels stronger, then that means that this is the compression cycle. Stop. Okay, that was definitely, I believe, the compression stroke. I hope that's not okay. All right, crank it. Okay. All right, thank you, I appreciate it. All right, so after the test, it seems like we're looking at the rotor and also doing the test over there. It looks like the rotor actually is in time, at least as far as the 180 degrees part. So the real question arises of why would it not start and why would it hesitate if it's all timed correctly and the fuel is igniting where it's basically supposed to be? Well, at this point, it could be that the timing is a little bit too retarded or advanced. But in this case, it's probably a little bit retarded, because if you retard the timing, basically you're making the time more earlier than it should, which means that as the piston's coming up, the engine is igniting it before it really reaches the compression point. So that basically puts pressure against the piston. It works against the engine, and that causes the piston to have to slow down and stop because it can't fully make the cycle because of the explosion. Basically, a piston's coming up, there's a force that's acting against it as it's coming up, and it still has a ways to go up. So let's say this is the explosion and this is the piston. So when the explosion comes, it stops the piston until when the pressure is relief, the piston can continue and then go up and down. So as piston's coming up, explosion happens, and then the explosion pressure release, and then it keeps going up and hits compression and comes back down, but it doesn't ignite because the ignition is too early. I really hope I explained that correctly, because if I didn't, then I just sound stupid. But that's possibly what's going on here, why it started like so we got to find a way to adjust that. So now we're going to put our spark plug back in. So I'm just basically going to install a spark plug from underneath. So from underneath the car, just going to go up this way, just screw it in. And now we tighten it up. So now to put the plug wire back on, where is it? Right here. And looking at our plug wire, looks kind of good inside. Looks like the timing is right as far as 180 degrees off. It's 180 degrees on point. Compression cycle for 1 is showing the ignition cycle on the distributor for plug number 1. So I guess I'm gonna try and attempt to start it again. Probably pour some more, because I actually got some actual gas this time instead of starting fluid. Gonna pour some down the carburetor and then gonna just see what it does. After putting everything back together, of course. All right, so we got our gas, got our special jar of gas, and we got our, we're gonna use a turkey baster. I don't think this is the best method, but it's what we got right now. So we're just gonna spray a little bit of this stuff down that carb, and we're gonna try and crank it up and see what it does. Or instead of a turkey baster, I could just pour it into this little small can and then just gently dump it down the carb. I don't know, we'll probably try this way first since it seems more stable. So we got our gas right here. Let's just hope no sparkles happen. Round number 2. See, it sounds like it's trying to ignite, but not in the way you think. You notice when there's no gas or any fuel, it just constantly cranks. But the moment you put fuel in there, you hear like a weird resistance as if the battery's dying, but the battery's not dying. I believe what the issue is our timing is probably a little bit too retarded. Now, if I get the terminology wrong, it's probably a little too advanced, but we're gonna try and get that sorted out with the remaining time and the heat that we can. Time for round 3. I think it's round 3. Round 4. Round 5.
Tell me, you want to try and crank it up? What? I said you want to try and crank it up?
Round 6. I'm not gonna lie, part of me is questioning whether I'm flooding the fuel, flooding the engine or not. I hope I'm not, but I don't even know if it's I don't know. We're just doing what we can do, and we're just seeing what we can see. Whatever that last fire off is before it threw out the big fireball, that might be where the sweet spot is, or was very, very close to the sweet spot. But we were just a little too far to the point where instead of, you know, it just poof exploded into the air out of the carb. So I think I should probably advance it. In other words, rotate clockwise. Maybe if I advance it this way instead of continuously retarding, because I notice I'm retarding it constantly, turning it counterclockwise, and it's not really doing anything, making it worse. Let's try the opposite way again. Around 6 or 7. I don't know. Around 7 or 6, wherever we are. Day number 4. I think it's day number 4. Okay, I think after doing a little more homework, I think I figured out what the issue is. So I don't know how I'm going to explain this, but I'll probably just go along by adjusting the distributor, and then I'll get back to explaining it. Luckily today though, I think we got all our hard stuff done, because all we're gonna really need is a 13mm and just some fine tuning. And before I do that, I'm definitely gonna roll down these windows, because goodness, it's 92 degrees today. Imagine working with absolutely no shade, literally no shade whatsoever. Yeah, that's very fun on a bunch of rocks. And when you really think about it, it's actually really nice that this has manual windows, because if it didn't have manual windows, oh, it'd be even more worse. Got our 13mm, and luckily for this one, we don't really need that many tools, because once again, we already did all the tests. We got everything finalized. At this point, we're just trying to get the ignition timing right on the distributor.
What you doing to it, bro?
I'm just getting it started. All right, round number 8, I guess. Well, it looks like, oh boy, finally, goodness gracious, it's so hot out here. And look at that, it started right up. It started right up and blew a big cloud of dust. Oh yeah, that was something. I mean, look at that stuff coming out right there. Wow, that thing sounded kind of mean too. Well, let's see if we can try that again. Now, to be honest, I still don't know if it's exactly perfect. The timing is probably not, but it's like we found a sweet spot. And I mean, that thing just shot off. Oh my goodness, that thing didn't even hesitate. It just, okay, enough of my cringy laughing. Wow, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I am very, very impressed. This thing probably, technically, even though it was like probably 3 seconds, this thing ran for the first time for 3 seconds in I don't know how long. 3 seconds, I mean, who can argue with that? Sorry if my camera is shaky again, but I don't know. Instead of shakiness of nervousness, just a shakiness of excitement. But that sounded so good. Let's do it again. Round 8. So it looks like it does run, but I don't know, feel like it's idling a little bit too high. Either there's a vacuum leak or we're probably gonna have to adjust some hose, but looks like the next step here will be to get a fuel system hooked up so that way it can actually start sucking some gas. Cause I don't know, it starts right away. Like, I don't know, maybe I just so happen to get it right or something, or you know, but for now, since we know it fires off, our goal is just to get it running enough to see what else we need to fine tune.
Exhaust leak on this thing?
Probably is, to be honest. It's a little louder than it should be. But yeah, off that little cup of gas I poured down there, that's what it's running off of. So as soon as it stops, it's just, that's when it sucks it all up. But yeah, it's definitely firing off.
Are you taking it home with you today?
Probably not today. I'm thinking Sunday is when me and my friend are gonna pick it up, and that's when we're gonna finalize. I may come back tomorrow again too in the morning, kind of do some fine tuning, make sure there's no air intake leaks and stuff. And if that's good, then it should be good to drive home.
What piece of BBL at home kind of got a hole in it?
Let's see.
Probably silver vacuum on that too. Got a hole in it.
This part seems a little loose, like it's not sealed. Could be a possible tiny leak right there.
No, I'm concerned about the hole. That'd be all right.
Yeah, so I don't see any holes.
You gonna buy this one too?
So this car has been sitting out here for like how many months exactly?
Well, I've been here 2 months and it was here before I got here, so I couldn't tell you exactly, but it's been here a little while.
Gotcha. I've heard there was people coming here like talking about buying it and stuff, and they said they were going to get it or do this and stuff. Oh, and the last guy who you said, it was like 2 people that same day I had bought it. You said there was like a guy with a trailer and another dude who was going to come look at it. Did the guy come with the trailer or the other dude come to ask about it?
We had one of those guys show up later in the day after you got it, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The guy with the trailer?
I don't remember. I wasn't actually here, but Clay handled it.
Gotcha.
Still, with it being here, we still get people asking about it 2 or 3 times a day.
I've noticed that working on it, people have been asking me about it. They're like, oh, what are you doing with the car? Did you buy it? And I have to explain, yes, I bought it. Or are you the mechanic here? And it's like,
Hey, where's the wheels and tires I'm gonna put on that S10?
Like I said,
I'm gonna go take some pictures and send them to you.
Okay, I'll be there in just a second.
Back over here in the corner.
Yeah, I'll be back there I'll be with you in just a second.
what was the other question? Oh yeah, if this car, because this is a question that I've been thinking about and probably some other people think about who watch these types of videos. If this car sat out here for any more longer without anybody buying it, like what would happen to it?
It would have been crushed. Would have put it out on the lot for a little while for people to pull parts off of it, but the very end, it's very niche. So
Yeah.
Don't know how much that would have happened, but we would have pulled it apart and crushed it. For
Yep.
scrap. Sad. It would have been sad.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely sad. But it's like the game, you know, if nobody picks it up, it just
Right.
gets crushed.
That's right. Let me go help them.
Awesome, appreciate it. Well guys, you heard it himself, from the guy himself. If this guy was not saved, if it sat out too much longer, would have been straight to the yard, then would have been right to the crusher. But luckily, once again, to answer the question of will it run, yes, but we still got to put it on a fuel tank, so technically the question is half answered. But will it drive home? Now we still got to figure that out, which will be in this episode, of course. But once again, this car was saved. yeah, I'm very glad this finally got this out of the way, because once again, this was such a tackle. This was such a hassle, literally. Not really the whole thing, but it's mostly the heat, trying to figure out why I wasn't starting off. So I could have sworn I had it right at first, but I guess I didn't. Which, at the end of the day, I guess this just goes to show that if you think you know what you're doing, slow down and actually take your steps thoroughly. Think about what you're doing, because sometimes things are not always as they seem. Guys, I don't know, I'm just super happy this guy is saved, super happy this guy's running. And like, you even heard it from the guy himself. That guy was the manager, and he was right. This is a very, very niche car. The cars are not really all that common. You know, the parts for these things are very scarce. They're scarce, but then also, like, who's gonna buy all the parts off of this if someone were to like part it out? You know, it's very specific. You know, not everyone has a 73 Newport. I mean, this is literally a 1 year only. This is a 1 year only trim, you know, the front end and all that stuff, some other little things here and there. But yeah, this car would have just been crushed. It's been listed for 9 months and it's sat out here for sale since basically February. So that would be about 5 months ago. 5 months ago, people kept coming in, oh, I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna do this. Literally, people were telling me as I was working on this thing, oh, I wish I would have bought it, or I was thinking about buying it, I just never had the time. Oh, you know, it's I was wanting to get it, blah, 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 blah. And apparently after I bought it, oh, all of a sudden now people are coming and talking about buying it and stuff and gonna buy it, this and that. And this, I don't know why this happens, but you know, at the end of the day, once again, we stepped up to the challenge, we took it on, and it looks like this challenge was a success. So now we just got to get our auxiliary fuel tank hooked up, put it in the passenger seat, getting it rolling, do some brake tests and do some transmission tests. I have very big confidence that everything should be working as it should, and you know, go about it from there. But yeah, you know, we did it. All right, guys, we're at day 5, and finally, with the minimum amount of tools required, all we're going to do is pour fuel down, get the auxiliary tank hooked up. We pretty much got all the hard stuff out the way. I mean, we got the distributor set up. Seems like may need to adjust the timing. So all we're gonna do, we're just gonna remove the intake. There's definitely wasps trying to get in there, build a nest. It's what's annoying about this crap. See a little stupid guy, but basically, what we're gonna do, well, one, the fuel bowl is definitely empty for the carburetor. That's where all your fuel is housed. If you fill that up enough, you could have a run off of that for a little bit. So we stopped by Harbor Freight, got ourselves a 4-piece funnel set, and we got this because we need to have a funnel that is small enough to fit inside that little vent. Let's try and disassemble this, take it out. These are the small ones, so squeeze this arrow inward, push up. So we're going to be using this funnel since it's our smallest funnel, and we're going to see if it fits. So it seems like it doesn't fit. If your tip doesn't fit, I think I have a little solution. We can use a used rubber hose. We can slide it on to the funnel. As you can see, fits on there snug, and we can cut about right here. Let's open up our knife. And here we go. And also, you want to make sure you probably blow through it a little bit to make sure you're not going to pour any debris inside the carb. This should just slide over the vent hose and be able to get us to pour our fuel in. So now basically the next step is we're going to dump a little fuel down there. We're not going to try to overfill it, but we're just going to dump enough fuel. That way it could probably kickstart or run off of that. And if it does, then I mean, that's a pretty good sign. I put the paper towel there just for precaution, so just in case any weird gas splurge happens, doesn't fall onto the electronic choke. And also just to show you guys how important or useful this could be, as you can see, no spillage here and no spillage there. Now we're gonna see if it runs. Well, looks like the answer is yes, it does run. But once again, I only poured so little fuel down the fuel bowl. I don't really know how full it is. I don't want to overfill it, of course, but I guess we'll just do it again and see how well it runs here. If you guys are wondering how I'm getting the fuel from this jar into this lid, I'm basically just taking the turkey baster, dipping it in here, sucking it up, and then putting it gently over the top. As simple as that. Now to drop in our cup. Yep. Yeah, it's just running off of fuel from the fuel bowl, the carburetor bowl. So of course it's not long, but yeah. Okay, so what am I gonna do from here? We know it'll run consistently if it has enough fuel. I think I might just air up the tires, may fill the brake fluid, or I might just do that tomorrow morning. Yeah, we're gonna hook up the fuel system, rig it up, get that fuel pump going, and it should be firing off. So all right, just to get stuff done, we're just gonna go straight into it. So we're gonna just remove the stove pot. Same stuff we did before. We're just gonna pour fuel down the carburetor bowl. So when you're going to start a car that doesn't have any fuel in the system, you wanna make sure that you can start it with as much fuel in the system as possible. So that way you don't drain your battery, you don't waste any energy from your starter. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hook up our auxiliary tank down there so the fuel line is running. The reason why we're hooking up an auxiliary tank is because the actual fuel tank, even though it smells like gas, we still don't know if the fuel in there is actually good. So what we're doing here is, just to be on the safe side, we're running an auxiliary tank with guaranteed clean fuel. So now to get to getting this fuel hose onto the barb, so the way this barb is right there, if you see that barb right there, that barb connects to a hose that goes all the way down to the bottom of the tank. So it's not just sucking fuel from the top of the tank, of course, it's going to be sucking it from the very bottom. So basically kind of like how a normal fuel tank operates. So while we're sitting here and the only one holding the door open is me, let's get to it. Well, sounds like it's running good. Fuel filter's getting some fuel. That's good. Look at that, it's not really smoking too bad. I mean, there's a little tad bit of smoke, but not too terrible. Smells kind of like those lawnmowers. We got oil pressure because the oil lights off and there's no weird lights on, you know. Wow, this guy's out of like a stamp. Hold on a second. Yeah, I don't know what's burning down there, but it's probably some of that old debris on that manifold. Probably need to get some of that off, but that was a little concerning. That was quite a bit of, it wasn't a lot, but like, you know, it was doesn't look like it would be oil though. That's the problem. And it smelled like it was about to be a fire kind of, so I don't know. And I just saw some like fuel coming out. I'm not sure if that, let me try and see if I could tighten that line up. Probably not tight enough. All right, so what was that smoke? I'm not exactly sure. Know exactly what that smoke was. That was from whatever fuel was coming from. It's very possible that fuel could have just been the fuel that spurted up from that. I probably just didn't see it too well. But yeah, we're just gonna do a little precautionary brush around because as we can kind of see, there is some little dry debris here and there down inside the areas. All that debris right there. Probably can't see it, but we don't want that stuff floating around. So I'm probably just gonna take this towel, brush around in there. Yeah, see, look at all that. Oh, I gotta make sure the carburetor's closed. Don't want stuff getting in there. All right, yeah, we just wanna kind of brush around in there, make sure we get all this dust and debris out. No, goodness gracious. That blew right in my face. See, this kind of stuff that was probably set you on fire, God forbid, but it probably will if you're not careful enough. Oh boy, this engine, we should have took a leaf blower to this. However, as we hit the road, of course the dust is gonna be flying everywhere. So, but yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do that and I'll get right back with you after I'm done. Some more brush action. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is perfect. Look at that. We're getting, oh, slipped. We're getting all that stuff out of there. Yeah, look at that. It's getting crystal clean, clear. Brush it off the manifold. I might look like I'm paranoid, but trust me, I don't want to have a burning down vehicle. Okay, let's do the other side. Also, I use this scoffle pad right here. Kind of getting between there, you know, those layers. That can help as well with cleaning. We just want to clean the areas that are known to get pretty hot, so that way, you know, we don't have to worry about any fires. And also, I blew pretty hard into that side of the manifold, so it should be good. So we just got to get that dust and we'll be set. And for tight areas like that, we can just use simple wire brush. Wow, well, good news is this thing starts right up and goes, but bad news is it has a fuel leak. So if we were to drive around like that, see where the carburetor is right there? Yep, got a little fuel leak right there. So man, sucks because this thing runs so good, but can't really go if that line is leaking like that. So we got to figure out what we can do there. So that's our fuel line. This line is what's delivering fuel to the carburetor. So you can see right here, it's designed to, as you can see, this part's supposed to slide in against a little indent in there, and it's supposed to seat into this, which this is also fitting in here. So you can unscrew, you can see this is a little loose. See how loose that is? That should not be like that. See, it's a good thing to not be an idiot and just straight up start it up and be like, oh yeah, everything's fine, because nope. Just like this, we had a fuel leak, and if we weren't cautious with this, car could have burned down. So we're gonna take care of this real quick before we do anything else. If you don't have the size, gotta improvise. As you can see here, there's an old gasket. That's what's causing the leak. You know, it's all old and nasty. So if you look at this and if you feel right here, this gasket is way too hard. It's not even, doesn't even feel like rubber anymore. It's just straight up cracked and brittle. All right, so got the Teflon tape. So now we're gonna put it on the carb.
I mess with you and say it's crusher food, but in reality,
If anything's
if I
crusher
Paul would
food,
have been
it's
here,
this
I would have
truck.
said, you can actually sell this car. Except the other one came up. What truck does she run? Hey, Matt, I told my girl.
You gotta go fast, remember? Okay, so again, now we gotta see if it leaks, and if it doesn't leak, we are good to go. And it looks like it's fixed. Does not look like it's leaking. Yep. Nothing funny. Yeah.
I hear a massive back bleed.
Yeah, this thing has some, you know, stuff here and there. You want to be on YouTube? Bruh.
Dang, that didn't expect. Turns out we did have a vacuum leak. That might be a problem.
Possibly.
Actually, you should start right back up.
Don't do that again. All right, guys. We'll be right back. We'll get stuff situated. Yeah, she's smoking a little bit, but it should clear out. Hopefully, it clears out. Yep.
All these days, all this hard work, it's purring like a kid.
Yep.
Days and days of work, got that bad boy purring like a kid. When I mean purring, it's purring.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Like you said. It's AC on.
Nah, don't do all that.
Hey, Isaac, you think this smoke is something to worry about? Yeah. Yeah.
After a while, it ain't gonna see no smoke or nothing. That ain't number old residue. Old stuff like that.
That what?
I can tell you it's not fuel or oil.
Let it ride to Atlanta.
Yeah, that definitely smells like old, you know, brush. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, days and days. You got that bad boy purring, baby.
Bro, it took so much stuff, man. I like to thank you for all the work,
Appreciate the
man.
opportunity,
Thank
man.
you, sir.
You see, you
Absolutely.
get this bad boy purring.
Oh, yeah.
You stay relentless on it. Now, this baby ready to hit the road, baby.
It's a road. On the way.
There's some gas. There's who them duels, baby.
Let's see. Hope it doesn't shut off.
Okay. Is that a cam out here?
Right.
Is that a cam? I just probably want to leave that breather out there, but that breather making it.
Yeah, I gotta keep my foot on it apparently. Something needs adjusting somewhere.
Back line somewhere. That back line.
Yeah. Did you put the screw on it?
I probably put on right.
Put the screw on.
Alright.
I put it on, tried to put it on right. It went to die, so I just did the flip trick for now. I can suck air from the side.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome, man. You did it, man. You checked your list, you checked it twice. You kept on making sure now it's baby, it was naughty, now it's nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah.
baby was naughty. It was being naughty, now it's acting nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta adjust some sort of idle screw somewhere, I think. Well, it's not smoking.
Hey Matt, for intensive purposes, we're leaving the air cap like that because I tried to put on right and one that died, so I have to take it back off.
Yeah.
Now she's sucking a lot more air. The motor will be much more happy actually be able to suck in air.
Yeah.
And this sucker needs to go from here, like here to, like right here to get some fresh air.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I put an aftermarket air cleaner on it. I see a nice foam aftermarket air cleaner on it.
Yeah.
The motor wants to breathe, suck the air in. Breathe for a straw.
All right, so now we got to bring it out. Got to bring it out, get it ready. We'll be on the road. Step in here in this hot car. Hopefully it doesn't shut off on me.
Things have we discovered doesn't move. That's a real question. We always try to move it, dies.
You say you're glad it was safe from the crusher?
Yep. I'm sorry, it's a niche enough, am I wrong? It's a niche enough car where if you put it on a parts yard, who's looking for parts for it? It's
Hey,
like
wait.
this goes on.
This is the first time I've ever seen one of them.
Hey, this goes on a parts yard. This thing will be.
Hey, look, so got another project for you. If you want to get involved with this Chevy, it's about just as old, but it's all there. Pressure, motor, everything's all there. Well, it might not be all there, but the majority of it is there. Might be the next project, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, you seen them. You seen them get that bad boy running. It's been sitting there for some time, many years. They didn't know what to do with it. The people who had it before them, they said, hey, we can't get it started. We go ahead and junk it. Junk a real good, solid car. They don't make them like these anymore. I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but hey, I can't wait till when they get finished with it.
It's up back here again.
Oh no, he ain't gonna let it happen. He did too much work. He ain't gonna let that happen.
I told him if he hates it, I know that I have a relative who demolition derbies will buy it off him for $2,500.
Ooh, I bet he gets some paint on this bad boy.
I'm an auto body guy. I told him I'll help with the body work.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It'll be a showstopper. They gonna be like, what kind of car is that?
That was a nice car. The highway, that thing was, man, that thing was something. Man, it was really something.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a smooth car.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I love that. That thing is something else, man. I wish my dad was still here to see it, though. He would.
Dude.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Gonna keep it original.
Oh yeah, definitely gonna keep it original. Yep.
Do you ever like you ever go to the car show, stuff like that?
Me and my dad used to. Of course, you know, we're getting busy, so we haven't as much. But I'm gonna start taking this to car shows when I can, and do that. Yeah.
That's a good thing. Yeah, that'd be great. I got to get back into it. I was into a lot of car shows and everything. I did a lot of racing back in the day. I think about getting back into it. So.
Dude, nice.
Oh yeah, man, it's a good thing, man. My health, you know, I've gone through some more stuff, hospital stuff like that. Everybody said, "You back?" I said, "Maybe." But I see that car. I know. I know, man.
Oh yeah.
What's your name?
Yep.
My name Mike. Everybody call me Red, but my name is Mike. Yeah, they used to call me Crazy Mike.
Crazy Mike.
Yep. So I'll probably see you again. Take care, man. Good talking to you. Man.
Absolutely, man. You
Hey,
too.
Good luck with that, man.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
dude.
I keep telling him it's crusher food, just him aggravated enough to come out here. Gotta keep him.
All right, guys, we're gonna try and get out of here. Man, I hope this thing does not die. So it's running. My foot's kind of on the pedal. So let's see. Our steering works. All right. So let's see. Don't die. Don't. All right, brakes on. Yeah, that thing almost died. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, probably so. Oh, come on. Let's do this. Let's at least get out of here to the parking lot. We got this, guys. Okay, we got this. Come on. Oh boy, I'm trying to hit the brake and get in the reverse. All right, let's do this. Reverse. Man, this thing's popping though. All right, so we're gonna kind of gun it and put it into reverse. Man. What?
Killed it.
You said what?
Killed it.
Dude, it's like I put it in reverse. There's like a little leak. So I don't know. Do you think I should check it now?
I don't know. What time is it?
Yeah, it's the time.
We might have to skedaddle out of here and I'll get you next week.
Yeah. Are you gonna be able to get me next week?
I think next Thursday I'm out of school.
I'm so sorry I brought you out here, bro.
Make sure you get my jumper back. No, it's fine.
I guess this is, yeah, man, I guess
Make sure you're taking fuel cans and stuff. Don't leave that in my car. Someone steal all that.
Dude, I was,
You got a little ambitious, man. Got a little ambitious.
yeah, man, I guess I just didn't consider the actual driving part. I mean, we got the running part, but the
I
drive.
tell you, I said the driving part's gonna be the hardest part of this. You can get it running and getting it to drive is one thing.
Yep.
Just make sure you bring plenty of transmission fluid because that one bottle might not be enough to get the car over.
Yeah, I'm gonna try one more. I mean, but even if I back it, like the power steering is actually smooth, but even if I back it up, right, and get it out, what if it stalls in the yard?
Yeah, but is she moving though? Let's go forward.
Yeah, it actually went in reverse. It literally tried to. It was going.
She might not have enough fluid. The other thing you need to learn on that one, you got to feather the gas and brake to see if you can. Because you got to keep her running, She hasn't moved in a minute, so she's old and tired. Oh,
Yeah.
she's a parking brake off.
Hmm?
Your parking brake's not sticking.
Yeah, I don't think the parking brake's sticking. Let me see. All right. Hey, do you think we should just wrap it up and wait till Thursday? All right. Oh, man. Well, we came here about an hour earlier. Probably would have helped. I mean, hey, at least it's running good. No serious issues. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to get my stuff. We're going to wrap it up for today. The yard's closing, and we're on a borrowed time extreme crunch. So
Worst case scenario, we got to get a tow truck to get it, which I don't want to happen, but
it's not going to happen. I just need to put transmission fluid and probably some
I'll bring
brake.
a couple quarts. You only brought one bottle. I don't think one bottle's going to be enough.
Let me. Oh,
She's
yeah, it's
definitely
not.
leaking faster than that. She wants to move, though. I can tell you, but she wants to move. You want me to help get your stuff loaded up?
Yeah, you can just draw me back off at
Come
the
on,
house.
Newport. Come on.
Come on,
Just
Newport.
one job.
One job. It's always the cars that get saved that end up being the most
I
stubborn.
have a saw in here.
Don't ask.
You know what? I'm just going to leave this stuff in here.
All right, so looks like that went much quicker than we expected. So while we have the extra time, we're gonna go ahead and top off some of these fluids. So we're gonna put some .3, .4 brake fluid in. Just gonna remove this little doohickey thing. So flap, hold down. All right, that yeah, it looks pretty good enough. I mean, you know, brake fluid is gonna need to be changed. We're gonna have to change that, but for getting us home, that should be pretty good. At least it's not leaking out. That should be secure. All right, so now we're gonna just check our transmission fluid. And to do that, we basically put the car in neutral, let the engine idle while it's warm, and then, you know, we're also gonna make sure that it can start up without having to pour any fuel down the bowl. So let's see how that goes. Might need a little assistance. I don't know. Looks like it's trying to pump that fuel up again. Let's see. Let me check the fuel tank real quick. We got to get that fuel pump running so we could pump the gas up. Yeah, I don't know. I think I might open up those idle screws a little bit just for extra security. So what? Probably little crackles and pops here and there. I don't know. I just know there's an exhaust leak down there somewhere. I can smell it up here. Go ahead and do some stuff. Yeah, we probably need to add a quart or two. All right, I'm gonna add this before my engine decides it wants to stop. Uh-oh. Yep, it stopped. Wonder if it's yeah, I'm looking at the fuel filter. It's getting a little empty-ish. Probably gonna have to stop by the gas station, get some fuel, and come back and do some stuff. I'm gonna attempt to pour some of this transmission fluid down here. It kind of shut off. I mean, either way, the fluid's gonna get in there one way or another. This way just might be a teensy bit less accurate, but it's still neutral, still warm. So we're just gonna see if I can do this. Well, my brilliant idea somewhat worked. I mean, it got in transmission. Of course, you know, knowing stuff, some of my plastic melted onto the exhaust that was supposed to protect it, and I still spilled a little bit on there, but not the end of the world. Let's check the dipstick. Well, we're reading something. Let me clean it off to be more accurate. Looks like we just barely got it there. Let's do it again. Oh, that was even worse. Man, it's so hard to pour fluid in this cramped space with that tiny little funnel. Yeah, all over the exhaust is definitely what you want. Okay, so after a little bit of thinking and a little bit of analyzing, I think the fuel pump might be a little bit weak. Now that fuel is actually fuel that was apparently, I guess it was drained from when after it sat. So that's not really fuel pump fuel. Whenever the engine's running, it's usually pretty low. Like it's almost as if it's getting no fuel at all. So we got to figure out what's going on with that. We got a fuel pump and we're going to dump our excess fuel in here. So in order to do that, we got to take the actual fuel line off. To be honest, I am trying to get this done as fast as possible at this point, but I'm still going to film for the sake of it because, you know, why not? I think the size for that was 14 or 13. It's one of those. We're going to see if we can break this loose. Oh, actually it does look like it's a 13. Wasting no time. We're not going to waste any time today. So let's see. Probably a 13 if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, it's a 13 looks like. Doesn't seem like it's budging. Weird. Wonder what the... Okay, give me a second. Well, I guess I might as well show you guys why it's important to have a fuel filter. You see that? I don't know exactly if that debris was in the line or not, but if you look here, there's like weird sediments falling off. Could have been parts from the rubber where I cut, or it could have just been junk that was in the fuel line or fuel pump, whatever. It could be from anywhere, but you can see it's like falling off right there, right up in there. So that's exactly why your fuel filter is important, and you always want to run one. Okay, well, you know what? It looks like I almost stripped that bolt trying to get it off, and I don't have any of those special wrenches for it that has the hexagonal angle, so instead I'm just going to see if I could use my handy dandy janky bolt tool.
this, Town and Country, or the Chrysler 200 for your best bet?
Yeah, on the Chrysler 200. Yeah, when I have some time, I'm gonna come back. The Chrysler 200, that'll be back.
Yeah, I got the key.
That'll be back.
You know, one thing I want to point out, just by removing this alternator, you have a lot of more working room. You actually have a lot more working room with the fuel pump too, because now you can access the bolts from above head, and it's much better than taking the tire off or doing it from underneath. Instead, you just have all your access right here, even to the fuel hoses. Look at that. And it's as simple as unbolting the alternator. So before I take the pump off, I just want to inform the reason why I'm doing it like this. So that little screw, as I was using the wrench, a regular 13mm wrench, I noticed it was kind of stripping. It stripped it at first. So instead of playing Russian roulette and gambling with, oh, it's going to get off quicker or it has to come off, I just decided to do it the safer route, which is just unbolt it with the line still on and then take it off. That way I can get the line off while the fuel pump's off the car. And then, you know, I could just reinstall the new pump. Simple as that. So just to show you guys, instead of getting the easiest bolt off first, I'm getting the hardest one, so that way I know that if I can't get that one off, then it's probably best not to fiddle with that one yet until we know we can get it off. So
That ends at 455.
it's 440. I mean, no, it's a 400, sorry.
You gonna buy it?
I already bought it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I give you 800.
Bruh.
Oh, he dropped it too. Leave him alone. All right, man.
No, you're good.
Well, our old fuel pump is out, and as you can see, we didn't spill any fuel, or any major fuel at least. All right, so an important notice, whenever you take off the pump, you want to take off the little gasket right there. So I already chipped some of it off. Now, preferably you want to use plastic, but since this is metal, you just want to go as gently, as evenly, and as flat as possible, because this gasket's been on here probably for who knows how long, honestly. So we finally got the old gasket off, now to put the new one on. So here's our fuel pump. As you can see, you know, the old outlet line is all gummed up and nasty and just stuck on there. So let's try and get that loose. Once again, there is a preference as far as a wrench, what type of wrench you would use, but you know, we don't have that right now, so we gotta just be smart about it. And when that doesn't work, you use this. Oh boy, this is just not budging at all, is it? Man, you guys won't believe how much effort I had to put into breaking this loose. I mean, goodness gracious. And that literally did absolutely nothing. Of course. Oh no, it did do something. Man, goodness gracious. This is what happens when you work on 50-year-old vehicles that probably haven't had parts removed since beginning. I mean, you know, go figure, I guess. Well, at least we don't have to buy a new one of these lines. Okay, finally we got this line off. Definitely gonna clean that up a little bit. If only I had cleaning utensils to do so, so I'm just gonna use a simple dirty paper towel. Once again, definitely not the best, but we're just working with what we have on site. I literally had to put Thanos Gorilla kind of forced to break this loose. Like, it was almost as if it was welded on there. It's kind of crazy. But you look at this thing, it's like, why wouldn't it be like that? And that's the sign that they're gonna close down, so we're very likely not gonna have time to put this fuel pump on. Well guys, I can already tell that the alternator is actually not charging the battery because, well, when I removed this part, whatever this wire, it could possibly be a ground wire. It looks like a ground wire. This ground wire is, well, there it is. It's shot. I mean, that's to be expected. You know, these old cars, I mean, once again, this wiring is like over a century old. We gotta trace that black wire back, see where it goes, fix that. But I was literally just moving it, just adjusting it to get it back into a decent position. And well, lo and behold, it snaps off. I guess that just goes to show why it's probably not charging. For as long as you were running it, it didn't seem like it was gaining more power. So, as of course, you know, yeah, more fun stuff. And then this wasn't hooked up, this positively wasn't hooked up. Who knows how good that is. And then that questionable tape wiring right there, that questionable wiring tape. All right, we're back again. I don't know what day it is. I think this is day 9. I think this is day 9. At this point, I just want to get this thing out of here. It's been here long enough. We got to get moving. So let's just go straight to the point. So what we want to do is we want to take our fuel pump and we want to compare them. This is the old fuel pump. So to give a little insight to this fuel pump, what I did was I put a little bit of oil in there, just kind of lubed and oiled up the linkages and stuff, made sure it wasn't going to just grind itself out as soon as it started. Notice how there's not really much of any like play, or, you know, there's like one tiny play, but it's like not significant enough where it's like, oh, but notice on this one, you can hear that play. Like it's a little, I don't know, it's a little bit loose, you know, just a tad bit play. I think this one's able to push down because it's oiled up and stuff, but you know, this looks all old. It looks nasty on the inside, or it was like just black oil coming out, like dark slimy stuff. So I don't know, of course it's worn, so it's probably weak. Versus this fuel pump, I tried pushing down, I can't really get it to move like this. Can't really do it with this. And to be honest, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but judging that this is new and it's supposed to be working, I'd hope it's a good thing. So we're just gonna go with it. We're going to install our fuel line. So because we took it out of the vehicle that way, we might as well just put it back in the same way, since, you know, probably would be a little more easier. So all we gotta do is screw it in. Also, once again, notice we cleaned the threads up and now we just simply screw it in. Slide it over this little flange right there. Because I removed it from under the vehicle, I'm going to install it from under the vehicle. And to do that, you know, just kind of wiggle and move some stuff. Kind of just slide it up through here, and also to make sure you keep the bolts in the right spots. I can kind of see where it's supposed to be. Oh, my gasket's messing up. So yeah, let's see. Wonder if I could just leave it in the position and come back and do it. Okay, looks like I'm gonna be eyeballing this from under the car. Wish me luck. Oh boy, they all just fell out, didn't they? Okay, give me a second. Oh, and I hate limited mobility. Alright, so I'm gonna try and do it a little downward without doing it too far to get, see, this gasket keeps sliding off. Okay, come on, get up there. Okay, finally, I think I got this situated. So, okay, since the bolts are in there, what we gotta do to make sure we don't blouse anything up, I'm going to, let's see, I know this one's in, so I'm just gonna guide that one in. Ah, why? Dang it. Hold on a second. Alright guys, I got it back in there for a start, but I'm going to do this gloveless because I'm going to need all the 6 senses I possibly can get. So I can see the cam lobe down in there, ever so slightly down in there. Yes, see, I can see the cam lobe down in there. So what I need to do is I need to make sure this goes, or no, that's just the screw. What we want to do is we want to install it in a downward position like this. See how I'm moving it up, raising it up like this now. I'm installing the fuel pump like this, so that way you can see the lever. You probably can't really see, but right now the lever is touching the bottom of the block. So I just want to kind of raise in here like this, and I should be able to get it in there. Right now I'm just trying to bolt it in place. For some reason it's not wanting to screw in place. I don't know why. I'm probably not starting in the right spot. Oh my goodness, my back. Looks like I'm gonna have to jigsaw my way around this. Get in there, bolt. When will you start? It's literally in there. Or it's literally kind of in there. I just don't get it sometimes. Okay, I switched sides, or I switched angles. I think I might almost, come on gasket, stay on. I don't need problems from gaskets. Maybe this thing might finally start going in. Yeah, because I need some like forward pressure. Man, am I screwing the wrong way? What's going on? It's not going in. Oh, finally, I think I got the stupid thread to seat. Goodness gracious, man, I swear. Some of these things are just so irritating. Oh, what are you doing? Maybe if I reach way under here. No, I can't fit there. I just hope I'm threading it in at this point, because if I'm not... why won't you go in? What is wrong with you? Are you stupid? Just freaking seat in there. I don't have all day for this. Like, dang it, man. You just had one job. Just one simple job. Sure hope I have it in there correctly, bolt pattern wise. So now I'm just wasting my time. Well guys, I think we might have found, I'm not gonna lie, this took hours, probably a couple hours to figure out. I think what I had to do was I had to bump the engine over to get the cam out the way. Did that a few times and just kept putting that in to make sure it would slide in. And I think it will slide in now because I'm finally able to align it. So let's see if I can actually get this guy in here. Alright guys, so I basically just backed out that screw just enough so it doesn't like completely come out, but I used the flathead to gently feather that gasket back a little bit, kind of just wedged it in there, teeter-tottered it back a little bit. Let's see how far this can go. Alright guys, for the sake of speed, I'm just going to finish the rest off camera. You pretty much get the point. Alright guys, welcome back, and today we are here again, and well, I guess I'm going to show you now how to replace a fuel pump on a Moper 400. So I believe this applies to 400s, 383s, 440s, maybe anything that's a big block. Come to realize there's actually a rod, because I was thinking that the way it worked was the lever was just supposed to push up against the camshaft. The camshaft lobe itself moves the lever, but that's actually wrong. What happens is the camshaft's in the center of the engine, right? And of course the arm for the fuel pump is short. So in order for the pump to actually actuate, there's a little push rod in there. What it's supposed to do is once the camshaft spins, as it approaches the push rod, it pushes the rod out, which pushes the fuel pump lever in, pumps the fuel. As the fuel pump lever retracts, it pushes the push rod back into its resting position. So basically the lever is always against its push rod, which is exactly why I was having so much trouble getting it in, because I didn't even know this was a push rod. I thought this was a bow, this bow right here. I thought that rod was just this extended. I was so confused. I was like, what the heck? What kind of design is this? Why is that even there? That little shiny little rod, that's the push rod right there, and that right there is your Allen bolt. And if you unscrew that, you can actually take the rod out, maybe replace it, or you know, put some grease on there and put it back in so the fuel pump can go in. But if you watch real carefully, you can actually push this rod up. I think I had trouble moving this at first, so I turned the engine over a few times. I think it actually gave me the ability to push the rod all the way in, because as you can see, look, it's moving. I'm pushing the rod up, and it's in a very, very finely machined hole. So really it's just lubricated by the engine oil, and it just moves back and forth. So we got our gasket. Of course it's burning hot now. Basically we're kind of just going to wipe it down a little, make sure, you know, our surfaces are clean enough. Now that that's clean, we're going to just get a little bit of grease on there. Yeah, a little bit of grease. Kind of smear it a little bit. All we're doing is we're just lightly coating it so that way it'll stick on, hopefully, and not slip and slide everywhere as we're trying to put it on. this is what working in the sun gets you, goodness gracious. Just letting you know, I do not recommend doing this. If you want to save a car, I'd probably do it at home if I were you and not do it out in the middle of a sunbathing junkyard, but here we are, I guess. So now we're gonna take this gasket, and notice we only did one side because we're not trying to, you know, it's not about getting the whole thing. We just want to get it seated on there so it'll stay. All right, and well, it's on there enough. It's on there for what we need. It's on there good enough for what we need. I haven't seen that wasp today. Don't know if they squished it, killed it, or if it just moved somewhere else, or if it died, but cloud cover is such an amazing gift. Look at that, yes. So in order to deal with this fuel pump rod, I'm sliding it up, but see, it keeps coming down. Now I notice if I twist it to a certain point, it will stay for a second, but then it'll slip right back down. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to try and put some grease on the rod, grease up the rod. We'll just use this much. It's probably not gonna hurt anything, honestly. We're just gonna put our finger and all around the rod and stuff, and you can see the rod is greased now. So after you get the grease done, keep in mind that little hole in the very back, it's seated inside. We're trying to get it to stick in there, so we're gonna push up on it. We're almost there. We are literally almost there. Notice how the push rod is all the way up. You see, it's all the way up. That right there is the end of the push rod, and because we put the grease in there, gave it a little friction. Now we can slide our fuel pump in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some grease on the fuel pump as well, because it's also recommended in the instructions to grease it. There's probably a better way to do this. It's gonna be well lubed and stuff. Once again, it's all about preventative maintenance. Well, you get the point. We're just gonna grease that spot, and we're gonna grease that spot. All right, guys, so just kind of Bob Rossing it a little, using a screwdriver to gently get it in there. Don't push too hard. You don't want to gouge anything, but we just want to lightly coat everything enough. Let's get a little nice lubrication going. Doing stuff like this might make your stuff last a little bit longer, you know? You won't have some weird fail point. Not exactly sure what plane that is, but it looks cool. Also, a little extra to show you guys, I also coated the spot where the lever hits with grease, so that way it can hit smoothly. So now, let's compare this slide-in to the previous slide-ins. And as you can see, it just slides right in. So let's start adjusting. Oh, no, wasp! No, go away. Oh, you dumb old bug. What in the world? Hey, get out of here. Go, shoot. Don't you just hate bugs sometimes? Specifically wasps. Oh, great. Now I gotta do the gasket all over again. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to do the finger thing again, so, well, here you go. Once again, we're sticking our finger, greasing up as much of the rod as we can. And look at that, it's as far up. Oh, it's coming back down. Well, I don't know what I did the last time, but it sure worked. I did the same thing, but let me twist it a little bit. Maybe that might do it. Yep, looks like it's staying, so let's go get this. Let's get this pumping quick before it comes back. And if anybody's worrying about, oh, is it gonna come back down when fuel pump's running? Answer yes. Oh, come on, wasp. All right, so I don't know if you heard any of that, but that same wasp, I think it was that same wasp, was trying to come back around here again, and I told him, no, you are not coming back around here. So he was around the door. Long story short, I smacked him, he fell, and I squished him. So hopefully no more wasp invasions. Don't have time for all that. You want to install the lever facing down as far as possible. And look at that. It literally took nothing to install that. It's right on there. It literally took nothing to install that compared to all the wiggle bajiggle we did. So let's now install the bolts. Of course, you know, I was struggling to death, literally struggling to death about a day ago. Confused as ever, wondering why won't it go in? What am I doing wrong? Oh, this car is just inconceivable. Only to find out that I probably just need to get the rod situated. And there we go. Oh, great. Now I gotta make sure. Okay. I wonder if I could just install that bolt. Looks like I'm gonna have to. we got the fuel pump down. Look at that, it's finally installed. Finally, it's very tight and snug in there, so that thing's not going anywhere. So all we got to do now is just install the fuel lines. All right, so we're gonna slip our little filter down here. Remember, this takes a 13mm wrench. 13 or anywhere close to a 13 is fine. If we're gonna go metric versus you know what here. First, I'm not going to try and actually fire it off. I'm going to first see if it actually turns over smoothly, because the last thing I'd want is to hear any funky noise and all of a sudden, kablam, the engine explodes. Yep, don't hear any funny noises, so it looks like our fuel pump might be good and there correctly. So see how our fuel pump is looking. Wow, that fuel pump sucked it right up. Look at that, it's all the way up there. Look at that. Just to let you know, I'm always adding fuel in there so that way we save cranking time. We don't want to waste our cranking time. So we're gonna just prime the system up, and aka I'm just gonna pour some gas down the car and we're gonna do it again. Actually smoother than it was before. I remember it was a little shaky and sometimes kind of suffocating. Yeah, let's check how our fuel system's doing. The exhaust smells like kind of funny. It feels like the exhaust smells a little better, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Any leaks? I don't see anything dripping. Yeah, that's just that transmission fluid burning off. 1,500 out the door. Yeah, guys, this engine's running much smoother, much more smoother. It was definitely at fuel pump, because I remember fuel filter, it looked exactly like it was okay, let me actually just, it's just transmission smoke, right? Yeah, I really wish I didn't spill all that, but oh well. You live and you learn. Luckily, it all just evaporated off. We're gonna wait till it warms up and really see if it's ticking. I should probably adjust those idles down a little bit. Nothing. Felt like it was dying, so I turned the key off instead. Looks like what we might need to do, we might need to advance the timing a little bit since it's warmed up. All right, so I adjusted the distributor a little bit. one possibility, which I don't know, alternator, because there's no alternator, you know, who knows, spark could just be getting weak. If that's the case, then you know. Yeah, see, we shifted into reverse and it died. So I don't know, I gotta see why it's, I mean, we adjusted the spark. We're literally doing everything in the box. We're adjusting the distributor, it's not doing much. Trying to fill with the idle air control, is not really doing much. But once again, this battery's not really charging. I'm not exactly sure how much power this thing's using. Of course, once again, I cannot check the transmission fluid if it's not running. I don't know what's going on. It's just kind of stalling randomly once it gets warmed up, it seems. I mean, once again, we don't have an alternator, so I don't know if it's because of we're getting weak spark or if it's like something else. It shouldn't be fuel related. It definitely shouldn't be fuel pump related. That's a brand new fuel pump in there. It should be doing its job. I mean, it definitely looks better than it did before, because once again, that canister would be a little bit empty by now. I don't know. I mean, it starts up fine. Temperature's good. I don't know, I think this thing is just down on power. It could be that alternator, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like it should be that bad. As I press on the gas, it seems like it's starving for something, but it's not air, because it still sounds a little weird. Alright guys, so I have this battery hooked up to jump it or give it more power, just to see if it makes a difference. I don't have to put fuel in there anymore to jump it off, so I don't know. Like I said, I'm just wondering if it's because it's just low on battery power or what. If it's not that, then I really don't know as of right now what it possibly could be. It's weird stuff. It sounds like it's misfire. I don't know what it could possibly. Just kind of holding my foot on the gas right now. Taking it off. Yeah, see, I don't know what it is. It's just weird stuff. Just weird stuff. This thing keeps stalling, and I mean, once again, I know we don't have an alternator, but it shouldn't be that dead though. It really shouldn't. It's weird. It's like on a cold start, it just runs, but it's like when it warms up, just doesn't do anything. All right, I'm just gonna try one more time with this battery, see what it does. A little fuel down the carb. Well, I guess it cooled down enough to get a cool idle. What happens if I put it in gear. Yeah, it still sounds a little rough, misfiring a bit, but yeah, it's dying. I don't even know if the lights work, to be honest.
Rumbling and grumbling, ain't it?
Yep, just wants to shut off sometimes. I think it's all because the alternator's, well, long story short, it's definitely not working. So all the power that's being used is strictly from the battery, which of course drains every time it runs because of the spark plug. So I didn't know if it would be that much of like an issue, but it looks like I'm probably gonna have to get to that, place that too, because there's no power getting to the battery, and then it just dies off, and then this happens. So yeah.
You'll get it.
You think so?
Oh yeah, you got it, baby.
Dude, I appreciate your enthusiasm, man, because we went from the distributor to the fuel pump, getting better fuel, and now it's just this one alternator. All it literally needs is fuel, spark, and air, and that's literally it.
That's it, baby. All right, carry on.
Oh man, I recorded the whole thing. I didn't even, if you guys are wondering, that was used car guy, basically guy way over there. Yeah, we're trying to figure out how we're gonna get this alternator in. Wait a second, I need to see if the lights work. I didn't even get to do that. Lights work. I mean, the dash lights don't come on, but do these lights come on? Of course they don't come on. No. Oh, hey, parking light works. Other parking light works. These halogens, they're not doing anything. Nope. Come on, you light bulb, do something. Nah, it's probably not working. Well, we definitely don't have headlights. We're not gonna give up. We're never gonna give up because we know for a fact if we can get this car running, driving, oh, it'll be so, well, it's already running. If we can get it driving out of here, it'll be epic. Both the tail lights work. Well, actually only one side fully works, the other side halfway works. It's the dang alternator. But you notice what's weird? When we first started it, when we literally first started, let me actually take this key, and that oil light might be causing some weird drainage. I don't know. Remember when it was first started and it was idling and it idled perfectly, nicely, awesomely, finally, and then all of a sudden it doesn't want to do anything. So I'm thinking, once again, I'm thinking it's that alternator. That alternator is giving us a dead eye. Probably got to fix that. If you don't have the right amount of current getting to your spark plugs, oh, it's just basically the end of the world. All right, let's see what we can barely do here. Uh-oh, we're not in drive yet. Whoa, well, it actually drives, look at that. Drives pretty well. See, it keeps. Okay, well now. All right, guys, well, it looks like I'm going to be removing this alternator. I was going to throw in another battery over there and try and see if it could run off of that, but I'm going to do what's actually more obvious I need to do, and is just simply replace that alternator. Let's hope this is the last and final thing, because in all honesty, once again, all it needs is fuel, air, and spark. How hard can that be? It should not be this difficult. So we're going to tackle that. Ow, ouch. Ow, ouch. You know what? I'm just gonna move to this side. I'm burning myself to death. Going that way, mate. Bolts out. Good deal right there.
You bought that?
Yeah, I bought it.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I was looking at this car months ago.
Months ago?
Months. I started to get it.
Really?
Me and my partner had one of these, but it wasn't a Chrysler, it was that Dodge Polara. Man, you talking about running out the frame? But I had a 65 F85 Oldsmobile. We were going to a town called Clarksville.
Clarksville?
Man, that thing I had, well, we put a vet motor in.
Oh.
Man, it was running so hard, blew the hood off.
Oh, dude.
We got it, tied the hood down with some dog chain and stuff. When he got the clog down, I was sitting in church chicken to eat. I run plumb out of sight on that Dodge Polara we had.
Yeah.
But you got a car here. What's wrong with it? Alternator, what's up?
Yeah, this alternator is just.
What's up, buddy? How you coming on?
Oh, it's going good. We're actually making progress. I got the distributor sorter, replaced the fuel pump. The alternator, because of course it's dead. It's not powering the battery.
I sure want to see him go to school and get his ASC certification.
It'd be dangerous.
Yeah, but that's one of the things you ought to do is make $100,000 a year. Right, because see, you interested in it.
$1,500 out the door.
I could got it for $900. This thing got you. Yeah, got you. We're just gonna chop it up a little bit. 318.
400.
Oh man, dog getting heat there, boy. Look, with no hair on his tail. That's so good.
Yeah, dude.
That's a good one. That
You could have got it for 900. Man, dude, how would you do it?
smooth like that. I know the head man.
Dude, I need to learn that. I'm just here to take measurements. We probably need to clean up that voltage regulator, and we need to make sure this alternator is actually wired correctly, because this is one of the wires that goes into the field connector. And as you can see, it's kind of weird. I mean, it's like, look at this thing, this wire right here. So I was looking at other engine bays. This bolt has 2 grounds. One ground is supposed to be there, which is this one. I believe this is supposed to be for the AC, or maybe it's for the horn. But you look right here, there's another ground, and if you look, it goes into this alternator wire. And I mean, the real question is, honestly, why on earth is this even, like, who was wiring this? What were they even doing or thinking? Because I don't even know if it's supposed to be there, honestly. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace these wires down. I know this one's definitely going to need some just got a cut right here, and you know, this wire, I mean, for goodness sakes, what the person do? Then this other wire here that snapped off, gonna have to do some work with this one. I'm probably just gonna end up replacing this one with a different wire, you know, cut it and extend it. All right, so after doing my makeshift gift unwrapping, what was this person's idea? Oh yeah, let me ground the field wire to the, I mean, is this literally why the alternator short circuited? Did the voltage regulator get damaged? Oh, so many questions. I hope not. Come on, Walls, get out of here. I don't need you around. After diving into the alternator, hey, shoot, get out of here, Walls. Can these things go get a life? We're going to replace the alternator. We're going to replace this wiring right here. But instead of just getting brand new wiring, I decided, well, since this ground is incorrect, why not just take this ground wire, cut it a little bit, and, you know, just kind of fit it onto there. That way, we won't have to worry about spending anything on wire instantly. We could just wait on that. Somebody literally just stuck the wire onto this bolt. They didn't even bother to put a lead on it. So I don't know, I might just cut that, or maybe I could just... All right, you know what? This is probably a good time to use our handy dandy wire cutters. So if I'm correct on the diagram, these are supposed to be for cutting. These little sharp edges right here, that's for cutting. So we'll see how this works. Or maybe just use these. As you can see right here, this wiring is, yeah, you know, this is just lazy hack job wiring. Like, this person, I don't know what they're thinking, grounding the field wire, but I think it might just cut right here instead. Now to try out these wire cutters, we're gonna see how well this cuts right here. Well, guys, you may not have seen that, but I literally barely moved this wire, and it just snapped off. Yeah, it wasn't even, once again, this wire was not even on there properly. I mean, you could see the booger wiring right there. I mean, I don't know, once again, this is not factory. This red tip's not factory at all. Somebody did an aftermarket, and they kind of did a terrible job at it, so probably not a bad idea to do a comparison test. This wire seems like it's bigger than that one, so it's probably 18 gauge, 16. So now to see how well this wire stripping tool works. So if you want to strip the rubber insulation off, just like that. And you can do the same thing with this, except, you know, it's more of a gamble because you got to have the right pressure point, but it's very, very possible. If you look right here, notice how the copper is actually shiny still, which is a really good sign. It actually shows that our electrical system is probably not all that bad, especially for the alternator. It's just with these wires right here, they were all a little bit exposed. Some of them were cracked and frayed, like right there. Teeny tiny corrosion, especially this one. I mean, you could already see some corrosion. Tiny doling. You see a little corrosion if you look deep enough in there. Now all we got to do is we got to cut our used wire to length. We are going to take our wire and we're going to measure it against the old wire. That way, when we cut the wire, we can get an accurate measurement. So because this wire is all old and matted, you know, it's very likely just gonna break. The insulation will break, but the wire itself, the copper, it won't break too much. And of course I just dropped it. So we're gonna set this one right here. We're not going to solder or heat shrink it because, well, you know, once again, this is just a temporary fix. We're just trying to simply get it back home and then handle the real wiring once we get back. We're going to be splicing it onto this plug right here because this is going to be plugging into one of the field wires for the alternator. So we're going to splice it in here. And if your wires don't fully fit inside the little teeny tiny circle in there, you could always squish them together a little bit. You can always kind of mash them together a little bit, just flatten them out and stuff, make sure they're going in properly. These are designed to be able to take 16 gauge to 22 gauge wire, so we're just going to stick it in there like that.
about it.
Yeah. Kind of squeeze it in there like that, and it looks like it should be in there. And if you look deep in there, deep inside the plug, you can see where the copper wires are, which basically means it's seated in there. We should be getting a good connection. And now what's left is to just crimp it. Oh, come on, Walski. Sick of these things. And luckily, if we take a look at our instructions, we can tell exactly which part of this tool we can use. This is an EverStart wire cutter, just simply from Walmart. You know, you can get them for a pretty decent price, about probably $8 to $12. So now we have to use our crimper, which this is for 22 to 10 gauge wire right here, insulated. Our wire is insulated, but for the part that we're using, of course, you can see here, this is insulated because the insulation is on the outside, and this wire, of course, is insulated, but we're going to use the insulated one, which would be this part right here. So we're just going to take this, go ahead and crimp it on. You want to make your crimping point as close to the plug as possible in this dark area. This darker area is where the wire is pretty much seated in, and this lighter area is basically where the heat shrink is supposed to shrink it. So now we just squeeze, and of course falls again. Is that what?
You getting ready to crank it up?
Yeah, just fixing the alternator.
Running some solenoid wires or something?
Yeah, just running, see the wires that were to the alternator were fried, so I basically replaced them with this wire that was incorrectly installed, but it's still good. I'm gonna replace the voltage regulator. I already got a new alternator, gonna throw that in there, so yeah. Because it runs good, it actually runs really good, it just has to charge. That's all I'm doing. You interested in that? And of course, last but not least, the charging wire right down there. So since we're now crimping with non-insulated wire, we want to look for the non-insulated terminals, which I'm betting this is between 12 to 10 gauge. So we're going to be using, see where this line is, 12 to 10 gauge non-insulated. Probably going to use that right there to crimp this, since as you can see, it's just bare copper. It's a non-insulated wire. Now that wire is crimped and not going anywhere. I had to redo the blue wire because it came off on me as I was trying to tape it up. So I basically just reinstalled it. I retwisted it a different way to where it would stay on. I twisted it to where if you put it on it this way a little bit, it wouldn't come off. Now to put our brand new alternator in. So this is a 110 amp alternator. I just went ahead and bit the dust because instead of getting a super duper cheap one, I know for a fact if I did that, I'd probably be screwing myself over. Instead of screwing myself over, I just bit the bullet. Well, this should last us hopefully quite a while. Should give us some decent power output for any upgrades we plan on doing. All right, to install this alternator, we basically just do the same thing we did before. And we are back for round number 13. I can't believe it's been 13 days. Goodness gracious. This better be the last thing, because if it's not the last thing, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's literally so simple. It just needs spark, fuel, and air. Just 3 things. How hard can that be? And it just needs to, oh, I forgot I locked the door on this side. The reason I locked it was because people apparently come in here still looking at it thinking it's for sale. So they naturally pop open the hood and want to see what's inside. I mean, you know, because it's an old classic car. I rode that way too far. Yeah, it's natural. It's a natural inclination. You know, it's an old classic car. Of course, people are going to want to see what's inside. People who know what's going on with it. You know, honestly, if you think about it, although it's burning degrees in here, it's like sitting in here is not really all that bad. I mean, once this thing's all fixed up and nice, so you got yourself a cruiser. Imagine this thing floating down the road. Yeah, you got a nasty, ugly crack right there. We're gonna have to sort that out at some point, but you know, it's really not all that bad. It's really not that bad. It's just we got to get this thing up the. I wonder if this door works. Yep. Doorknob works, because I don't think it works on the other side. But guys, if you're wondering the reason why I'm all more happy and jittery today, is probably because this will be the last day I officially have to do any real work on this car in this place. That point outside of this place is going to be a very, very long time ahead, probably. But you know, for as far as the junkyard, might be the last day. It will be the last day. I'm gonna say it will be the last day. I mean, there's just no way. There's no way that this thing needs anything else. It runs nearly perfectly. It just dies after 30 or so minutes. And it doesn't even die. It mostly just shuts off. And I'm strongly thinking that's because of the alternator, because it was not dying the same way it was before, where it's like, okay, it's under load and, you know, it's just sputtering before we put the fuel pump on, versus the second time we tried to move it after we put the fuel pump on, because the fuel pump is now supplying a steady amount of fuel. I mean, the alternator was literally fried. Like, this isn't even an assumption. The alternator was literally fried. The thing was useless. Judging by those wires, let's say we replaced these wires and just hooked everything back up to the old alternator just to see if it works, and all of a sudden, whatever output this thing, say it's putting way too much output, or just the dial, it's broke, it disintegrated, and it's shorting the whole system out. Like, what if we just install this stuff just to have to redo the whole thing over again because we need to buy an alternator when we didn't? So instead of gambling on that and being cheap about it, just went ahead and sucked it up and just went for a new alternator, one that I believe strongly is going to last a long time, one that's going to give good power output, should be of good quality. All right, so before we hook up our alternator, of course, we got to get the belt on there first.
I just had sold one, man, for like 500, bro.
One of these?
Nah, but I had a 69 verge to save. Had them come pick it up, man. I had paid dudes like $1,800 to rebuild a motor, but I had just had it sitting up for like 4 years because I was trying to do some interior work. I was planning to do some interior work, and I had just went on, just got rid of the junk.
Gotcha.
For real.
Wow. There you go, man. Yeah, oh yeah. So now all that's left, we just have to hook up these wires and we'll be straight. So to explain this alternator wiring system before we really go into it, the blue wire and the green wire are both field wires. So field wires are supposed to go to the voltage regulator to basically give signals of when to give charge or when to limit the amount of charge coming from the alternator to the battery. That little shiny shaft right there you see, that's where the power is getting sent to the battery. This cable actually goes straight to the battery. So if you connect this, you're really running from here up to there all the way around to the battery. Connected to the terminal is your charging cable, which is basically what the alternator does. It charges the battery. The thing is, let's say you did not hook up these two wires and you just hooked up that main cable, you technically could still charge the battery, but your problem is you would be overcharging it. If you just run it like that, you risk damaging your battery, possibly a battery explosion. This voltage regulator is what regulates using resistors, and it's actually grounded through the bolts. So it's important to make sure that those two bolts there are clean, so that way we can have good ground. So long story short, the previous hack job wiring that you saw going to this ground was absolutely incorrect. You know, it's a good thing we gave that attention and decided to bypass that, delete it using the wire, because if we didn't, who knows what would happen. So also just to point out, there is a hole down inside the frame. I'm just going to try and put a little cardboard, something to block it, because my luck sometimes, I don't want to risk dropping that little nut and then all of a sudden it gets stuck in there. If it gets stuck inside the frame, and I mean, oh, that's just a complete nightmare. Would you want to deal with that? And the only way out is cutting the frame. Yeah, that means that bolt is gone forever. So yeah, look right here. Look at that shaft. See, we're getting it seated up. Whoops.
Look at that green, Jack.
So what?
Is that it?
Am I going?
Burger color. I had some big red. I had sitting up on the ground. That photos though.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right there, though.
Oh yeah, dude. These are some nice cars right here. Don't really see them anymore, honestly.
Yeah. Which
you gonna do with it?
So far,
You gonna put
Ain't nothing wrong with
a
that motor.
Hellcat
Nope.
engine in it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that motor transmission, dude. Them jump running. I had one like that. Right out of Florida. Florida cans run with the police. They took my.
they took the, wow.
I put the flows on the tongue and everything, so I'm going to the flows.
You know, one part of this experience is it brings a lot of stories, a lot of people. One of the joys of actually being able to do this, and y'all cannot see anything. So now we just gotta screw our bolts on, or should I say screw our nut on. Just needs to be tight enough it doesn't go anywhere. Now we just gotta hook up these wires. And by the way, if you're wondering, oh, you didn't heat shrink the wires, yeah, I know. This is, once again, we're just doing this to get, for the sake of it getting out of here. We don't really have anything that we can reliably do. I mean, we kind of do, but it's like, stuff's all over the place. I have to go to this place, that place, and it's just not worth it right now. So until we get back, we're just gonna leave it like this. We're gonna start with the blue wire first, the one that had the former red wire. Reroute that under there. Basically just kind of plug it into the spot. Alright, so we finally got everything hooked up, and if you're wondering how I even decided which field wire to hook up to which terminal, well, I guess the best way I can explain it is if you look down here, you can see the two terminals. Both of them have a different design. You can see the design on that terminal that I'm pointing to right there. Notice it has a plastic shield around it. On the end of the tip, it has a plastic shield. I believe that's an insulation shield. And you also look at this one right here. There's only a bolt with a washer on it, but there's no like square shield around it. Basically, I just referenced the original alternator since it's has the same design on the terminals, just connected them based off of that. With the green wire hooking up to the one that looked like this originally, I just hooked the green wire up to this one, and with the blue wire hooking up to the one that looked like this, I just did that. And you know, the battery terminal part is self-explanatory. I mean, it kind of is common sense, but just look for a post that looks like that. Now all we gotta do is replace the old voltage regulator. Now, do I actually know if the voltage regulator is bad? No, but honestly at this point, if the voltage regulator was bad and we started the car up and the car was overcharging, for safety reasons we'd have to shut it down basically, you know, if we don't want our battery to implode or explode, and you know, it's just not worth it. So I just sucked it up, got a new one. All right, so now the last final step is to just get this voltage regulator replaced, and we will be good to start and hopefully have charging. So to replace this, all you gotta really do, unhook this, I don't know what kind of fly that is. I hope that it's not a bot fly. I've heard bad things about them, but I think this is an AC Delco. Yeah, inspecting our plug, I mean, it looks okay. It doesn't look the greatest, but it probably should get us through. Might run a screwdriver through that just to clean up contact points, but we're focused on unscrewing this, and this just simply takes an 11mm. Yeah, I just installed an alternator so that way, because it will run for like 20 or 30 minutes, but after that period it would just start idling slow and just dying off, which is like, yeah, it's mine. Yep.
All right, yeah, that's a good one there put together. That's a good one.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be nice when you get through with it.
Oh, dude, for sure.
It take you a little time to do it.
Yep, it's gonna take some time.
It might take you a couple years now.
Yep, exactly.
Dang, you got it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, have a good one, man. Be safe out here.
All right, you too, man. Thanks. All right, now to fully get this off. And here we are. So this voltage regulator is actually see-through. You can see right through it. There's like a little circuit board right there. Once again, it might still be good. It's just, I don't know if I want to gamble on that. And if it's still good, you know, I mean, hey, it works as a spare. All right, guys, you will not believe what just happened. I put myself in the Newport to go get the battery and some other stuff. I come back to the Newport to find the toolbox gone. You seen it, right? I'm not making this up, right? This guy actually walked out. Yeah, he was walking through here, had the toolkit in hand, and he said to me, oh, I'm just gonna bring it back to him. Nope, I don't know. I think that guy was trying to steal it. Yep.
Good seeing you standing out by the car. He's probably just set it down after about the gate.
Exactly, yeah. This just goes to show that you really do not know what could happen in less than 3 minutes. Some person saw me at the Newport. That's a very specific location, because I was also looking around, making sure no one else was looking. I actually kind of stood around a bit because I saw a guy looking over here. It wasn't him, but I saw a guy looking over here, and I'm like, let me slow down. And then I put it in the back seat, looked around, and went out to the truck. I knew that if someone did walk out at that time, then I would have seen him if I was at the truck.
Well, here's the deal. He took it out of the back seat. If he was going to give it back, he would have gone and put it back in the back seat.
Yep.
But he's going out the door.
Yep.
You lucky you got it.
Well, guys, you know, I'm just gonna wrap it up today. I don't really feel like doing anything else after that thief tried to steal my stuff. I mean, with the part of the city we're in and the part of town we're in, people are notorious for stealing things. So it's like, you know, why wouldn't it happen, right? Now I gotta get that battery. Luckily, I closed the hood and put a cable on it to show that it might deter people from trying to take it. Well, we may be wrapping it up, and I don't know how long this Impala is gonna last, but at the end of the day, nobody stole our jar of gas, so I guess that's a plus, right? And why didn't you just steal the broken fuel hose? Oh, nobody wants that. So weird. He had to see me put it in there. He was watching somewhere. I was looking around, and I even waited because there was one guy looking over here, so I paused, kind of looked into the van right here to act like I wasn't gonna put it in, wait till he walked by and put it in the seat. But I guess I wasn't quick enough. You would have to literally either walk by the car or look at it and look inside the seat, or you have to stand way out here, watch me put it in the back seat. All right, guys, we have manager guy here looking at the footage, see if we can see what happened.
There you are.
See, guys, look at this. This guy walked right through with my toolbox. I'm standing right there. So what I said to the dude was I said, hey, that's my toolbox. And then he said he was giving it to the manager guy, which, let's be honest, that's probably not a legitimate case at all.
No.
So he walked straight out of there. Oh, yeah, I'm bringing it back. Thank you. Take it easy, guys. Oh, yeah. Thank you for letting me see it.
No problem, man.
So we have our new part now. We have our new voltage regulator. What we're gonna do now is we're going to, since it grounds through it, we're gonna clean up our threads. Now, it might not make that much of a difference, or maybe it will, but either way, it's not a bad practice. Packet came with new washers, so we're just gonna switch these out if they decide they want to come off. Now we're gonna go to bolt number 2, which this one actually really needs it. You can see it's all kind of corroded. Brush around the ground like that. The celebrity? Yeah, sure, yeah. You want to send the pictures to somebody?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it myself.
Gotcha.
And,
Now with the plug, I'm probably just gonna stick this in there and just kind of weed it around, make sure, clean it out. Almost looks like there's no socket in there. Like, look at that. See that? It almost looks like there's no socket. It almost looks like there's no socket. Notice how when I'm swiping on the surface right here, you can hear a metallic sound, but notice when I do right here, it doesn't do anything. I think this plug is bad because I don't feel any metal socket here, which means it would only be running one field wire instead of two, which those two field wires are very important for making sure that the voltage is accurate. So even though we have our voltage regulator hooked on and we have our stuff technically connected, it still probably would not work simply because we don't have our connection right here. If we just went like this, we could possibly end up in the same situation as the old alternator, which we don't want happening at all. Which, is that what happened? I'm not entirely sure, but I just know that however the old alternator malfunctioned, it did drastically and burnt up the wire. So it's best to go ahead and replace this. Yeah, I don't know what happened to this socket. Probably got stuck on the old connection, or might have just fried itself to pieces or corroded to death. Almost had him. A cool day. Hopefully it lasts day. Part 4 of hopefully the last day. Or part 3, I don't know where we're at. To be very honest, we're literally there. It's always the small stuff, guys. Like, once again, that plug, I just don't know about it. So we went ahead and went to Napa and got a new plug. You know, as surprising as it probably would be, sorry, it's a little bit windy today. You actually can still get parts like this, that little plug right there. You would think that'd be an oddball part, but if your engine is compatible or the same engine as other vehicles, you kind of find them pretty commonly. So let's get this this over with so that way we don't have to be here any longer before the windstorm comes. I don't think there's going to be any more storms. It was storming last night. Supposedly it's just supposed to be cloudy and a little windy, so let's just cut to the chase. Perks are working on overriding, right?
Yeah, you gonna get this back running?
Yeah, just doing charging work, alternator work. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're good though. You can yeah, I was just the alternator was dead on it, the old one. I'm kind of just between testing the battery voltage, making sure it's not overcharging.
Sounds pretty good to be an old cop.
Yep, really does. Yep, I think that's overcharging.
And think about it, you got a red top Optima on there too.
Yeah, good quality battery.
Yes, sir. I got one of them in my race top.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, just in time. He came to see the glory of the run. So it shouldn't die out this time since the alternator is hooked up and the battery's actually keeping a constant charge. So, I mean, it's running real good though.
Yeah, it was an old motor. Convincing the motor, that's the easiest motor to get crunk.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, as long as it runs like this and
charge. I mean, it ought to be drivable.
Yeah, exactly. Because before the alternator, it was actually running pretty good-ish. But it's like, as the longer you let it run, the worse it started like idling, and it started shutting off, and it started getting weaker. Now it's primarily because of that alternator. And I had ran it when I knew the alternator wasn't working regardless, because I already checked it. When I removed it, some of the cable snapped off of it. So it was basically kind of burnt to a crisp. But yeah, it's pretty good because now it's not getting weak spark.
Right.
Exactly, like
I ought to tell you a whole lot.
Yep.
Sitting out of murals, you need just a good technician just to get it going.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's a good solid car.
Yeah.
Good solid car.
It really is. Oh wow, the fuel gauge is actually working somewhat. We apparently have a little gas in there. I wonder if the little gauge is actually working. Unfortunately, I don't think I have time to do the transmission fluid fill, so I'll probably have to do that tomorrow. But wow, this thing's idling amazingly. Just to think this thing was stalling out after every little, movement. There's literally no smoke.
It run pretty decent, but further along, I put old 4-barrel up there. It's more efficiency on that gas, so it won't bog down on.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because this came out around the smog era where, all that stuff started coming and choking the engines down.
Right.
So yeah, my friend suggested put a 4-barrel electronic system on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well guys, unbelievably, we actually got this done. Oh my goodness. This thing ran for nearly 30 minutes to an hour perfectly, did not stall out, did not hiccup, did not... No surprises. All because of an alternator. Who would have thought? Even though I've experienced an alternator dying before, I didn't realize it would be that bad. But it's like, guys, we hooked the system up correctly. Look, the alternator's there, the wiring's there, it's not overcharging, it's not undercharging. We basically took all the right steps. If you just take the right steps and do your research, because before I came into this yard, I literally knew nothing of Mopar 400 motors. I didn't even know a Chrysler Newport even existed. Literally, I did not know this car existed until I saw it. So I wasn't coming in here as some experienced expert. I had to learn everything myself. Trial and error, researching, experimentation, and mistakementation, whatever you want to call it. It runs like it just was parked yesterday. I mean, the overheating light didn't come on, the whatever. I mean, even the fuel gauge works. Surprisingly, literally, the fuel gauge works. The fuel filter is full of fuel. It's not half full. It's not partially full. It's literally primed and blah blah. And we did this all in the middle of a junkyard. We didn't do this in a fancy shop. We didn't do this in a $1 million 20-car garage, blah blah, whatever. We did this with just spare junkyard space. Couldn't use any of the junkyard parts because unfortunately they don't have anything that even fits this here, because where would you even find it in a junkyard anyway? You'd have to go I don't know. But well, looks like our alternator did us well. Wow, it's just kind of it's not weird, but it's just I feel like we're actually done. There's no extra day. We got to come back the next day. The only reason I have to come back is just to finish the transmission fluid thing, and that's it. Well, I guess now we will see you on the other side. Here I am going to do a first start to try and fill the transmission fluid, and I don't know if I flooded the engine. So I poured a little bit down the carb like I usually do, but I guess it was still primed with fuel in the carburetor bowl, and well, putting my foot down, I guess, I don't know, maybe I didn't crank long enough, or maybe I put too much in, I don't know, but you know, you can see the vapor kind of coming out. So great carb cars. Don't tell me I flooded the engine without even running it yet. Turns out the alternator gauge actually does work, showing it's charging. The cold light does not work. Gas gauge once again does work apparently. We're just gonna sit here and wait for this thing to warm up. I feel like I might need to tighten that belt up. Yeah, we're just gonna let it run, then check the transmission fluid. Brakes actually feel like they work. Might need some adjusting on the idle. You almost died out if you kept your foot on the brakes long enough. Already got it. What? 1500 out the door maybe. Yep. Alright, so let's check the transmission fluid. Of course. Wonder why I died this time. That's just oil right there, that little tiny smoke. I think I need to do some adjusting on the timing though for the distributor. That could be one thing, because it was idling good until I put it in neutral. Starts up and idle is good without having to pour gas down it. Let's try this again. Hope this thing doesn't die. If it does, I'm already gonna have to do it off camera. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna have to set this camera up first. Yeah. Well, I bought it a little bit ago, but yeah, technically. Yep. Think so. It's not too. Oh. Gotta learn to stop spilling transmission fluid on that exhaust. Alright guys, I believe based off of the dipstick, we are probably just about there. We're probably just about at full. Let me, you can tell there's a little line. I don't know if you can see, but it's a faint line. So it probably just needed about like a little less than 1 quart. Well, I'm gonna see how well it runs. It can probably go into reverse. However, I am willing to bet that it's going to stall out. real car, yep.
That's a real car.
Yep.
Really anybody want to go cut it up.
Exactly.
Beauty. Beauty.
Man, you tell me.
Absolutely amazing.
Took a while, but we finally got it up.
Good job, bro.
Appreciate it, man. All right, so I guess I'm obligated to put an update out here. So if you remember last time, it was stalling again when we put in the neutral. So all I did was I opened the hood, I advanced the distributor a tiny bit, and then I screwed the idle mixture screws all the way in and then backed out 1.5 turns. After the vehicle started, I let it warm up a little, and then I screwed the screws just a little bit in, probably like maybe a half a turn to a turn. As you can see, it's running a little more better. And when it was starting, it wasn't starting like it was too advanced. You know how it'll start and it'll like stop and then like continue because of pre-ignition? It wasn't doing that. So it looks like we're still in the curve. We're still in a good advanced curve. It was probably just a little bit too retarded, you know, it was a little bit too backwards. So now it's a neutral and it's not dying. So let's try and check this transmission fluid. All right, so update is started. So what? You already got it? Yeah, you mind? Cool. Pull apart, guys. Coming to tour.
You make videos? Hell yeah, man. You got a good frame to build off of.
Yep.
How much, man?
Yep. It's capital HM.
Ain't bad.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. It's not all that bad.
I just got me a 65 Buick Sabre.
Wow, there you go. Sweet.
I'm gonna put a big block in and call it hell.
All right.
Hell.
There you go.
You have fun, man.
All right, you too, man. Guy came through, recommended the idle screw because it was doing fine. It was literally doing just fine until we started reversing and then driving and the idle wasn't up. So probably really is that idle screw. I was trying to screw it thinking I was tightening it up, but actually I'm loosening it, so it's not even touching that. Man, guys, I don't know what the heck's going on. This car just doesn't want to stay idling. I'm trying almost everything in the book. I gotta replace the alternator, and I mean, it's improving, but it's just, I mean, I replaced the alternator, I replaced the fuel pump, fixed the distributor issue, which was the main culprit at first, and all this stuff. And I mean, even the transmission is pretty much failed now, according to the dipstick, and it's like this thing just doesn't want to stay running. Like, it runs good, but it just doesn't want to stay running. I don't know, maybe there's idle that, maybe there's some timing, maybe there's some like, I don't know, guys. I'm running out of ideas, and this car's already been here long enough. I mean, I don't want it to keep waiting here. Like, I want this thing to be out of here. But it's like this thing doesn't even want to leave the lot. I mean, the Impala's sold. That's good, you know, and I got some upcoming information on that. But this Newport, like, you know, we saved it and we're doing all we can to revive this thing, get it out of the yard. But it's almost like this thing, oh, I don't want to leave the yard. Leave me here. And I don't want to do that. So I'm trying, guys. I mean, if this doesn't work out, I'm so sorry. I thought I could do it, but apparently if it doesn't work out, then, you know, it just has to be towed. But I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop trying. You know, I know this thing can do it. It's just these old Chryslers, man. I don't know. And these aren't even the bad ones. These are the ones that were actually still in the time period of good enough, you know, good quality. Decent quality, you know, decent. But it's like, yeah, here we go again with this stuff. And of course it's raining. Rain randomly, so I can't really do too much. Can't pour more fuel. Can't really just, I don't know. And then at this point, because I've already filmed a lot, I'm just kind of filming intervals, letting y'all know what's up, and then getting back to it. But just know at this point, it was running, literally running perfectly. It was actually running when it was in neutral. I thought we were finally good, and then I put it in reverse, and it's like it's just not doing anything. And I know there's a way to time. You have to time using a vacuum gauge and a time light because it's a junkyard and stuff. You know, of course, I'm trying to do this without having to use all of that, but it's like, man, if I can't get this idle right, at least enough just to get home, what am I gonna do? And if it gets towed home, then that makes a boring video, because who wants to see something get towed? We all want to see stuff drive. I want to see stuff run and drive just like you guys, so I'm trying to get this thing to run and drive, and it doesn't want to. You stupid car. Why don't you do anything? Well, it looks like the rain's finally lightening up. Finally. It's not dragging my time anymore. Maybe I can finally do something. And Newport, why couldn't you just be a start up and get out of here? Why do you want to be here? I don't understand. You've been sitting and you just don't want to do anything. I just don't get it. Like, you see how large this car is and how tight? Like, if you back this car all the way up to the Suburban, you literally front end would probably be right here. And it's doable. You can do it, but if it doesn't idle the way it should, then how is it even gonna happen? I don't want to, oh, hey, can you please move these 2 Suburbans over there, because that would just, you know, be annoying to ask that. I mean, if it was parked up there, that would be so perfect. If it was literally parked up there, that would be so perfect. Just literally drive straight out of here, you know, drive through there and around and just straight out. But why are you being so stubborn? But we're not gonna give up. We're gonna do what we can, blah blah, get this thing running and driving, hopefully out of here. Don't want to tow it. And once again, I will update you guys, because at this point I kind of videoed almost everything that I probably need to. So at this point, once again, we're just trying to get it finally driving out of here. You know, I'm just adjusting some idle screws, mixture screws, adjusting nose screws, adjusting some distributor timing, and once again, just hoping for the best. All right, poured a little gas down the carb like usual. Let's see if this thing starts. See, my foot is barely on the gas. Like, it's just barely idling. I mean, nothing extreme is happening, it just keeps dying. Once again, we're getting good fuel. I don't know. Let me play around with these screws, I guess. I'm just gonna screw this all the way in again. And then unscrew them 1.5 turns. That's a half turn. That's 1 turn. And that's a half turn. Now to do the same on the other side. I had these screws kind of out pretty far, so I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Half a turn, 1 turn, half a turn. And then of course we have idle screw number 1 and idle screw number 2. This is the idle screw that kind of revolves around this little funny yellow looking choke mechanism thingy. And then this looks like a standard stationary screw for when this is deactivated. So let's see if we could do anything with that. And I mean, if the carburetor needs a rebuild at this point, I don't know if that's really a good idea out here. Like, of course not do the rebuild out here, but like, I mean, you'd have to order the parts, and it, you know, it's just, you're just limited when you're out here doing this kind of stuff. So let's see what happens. There's been worse things that have been driven home, things in worse condition that have been driven. Let's just give it a shot, see if it idles any different. Maybe it's still too retarded somehow. I don't know. That's even another possibility too. Idling better, but I mean, look at this. If you go into reverse, I'll bet you if we go into reverse or neutral, it'll die out. Neutral, drive. Yep, see, it died out. I mean, but that can't be there has to be more you have to do. Or maybe the distributor, we could be adjusting the carburetor, but if the distributor's still really wonky, then how? Come on, wasp, get out of there. I'm gonna make a pact to exterminate all wasps, every single possible living wasp. Come on, get out. Just forget it. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust the distributor, advance it a little bit, and we're going to see how that goes. All right, so I advanced the distributor a little bit. Let's see if it's let's hope it's not too advanced. Don't know if I should pour any fuel down, but oh well, let's try it out. That's a little better. I feel like it's just almost very barely too advanced. I don't know, I heard a little but who knows. Temperature's good. Look where our idle screws are. I will say it's a little more responsive. All right, let's see if this thing dies in gear. I'm just gonna expect it to die. Once again, we got time to figure this out today, so brakes are literally braking at this point, you know? Neutral, to see what it does under load. See it? If you stay on it, okay, see? It didn't die. It's in neutral now. Once again, I'm gonna expect it to die. I mean, look at that, it's moved. Don't worry about that transmission puke that's been there. Let's move it forward again. How much room do I have back here? This thing is as big as a whale, for you guys who know. I think we still got some room. All right, let's, I don't know, let's just do drive just to be safe. Oh, that's much better. Oh, hey, look at that. I accidentally put it in reverse when I stopped, but it didn't stall out. We drove forward, it's idling good. Don't want to run into those people over there. Let's try reverse again. Okay, it's going into reverse. Oh, didn't die. Look at that. I really want to get this thing moved to a different position so I don't have to do all this today. My friend comes. Oh wow, don't tell me I actually fixed it. I mean, it's still idling wonderfully. Who knows, maybe that one distributor adjustment really was the issue. It's all the way back here now. Look at that, she's running and driving. She's going back and forth. Wow, that thing is large. Goodness gracious, this car is large. Barely any wiggle room. Somebody's speeding in their bicycle. I mean, it's idling once again. It's probably not very ideal, but it's idling. We'll fix all that when we get back. It's not overheating. No weird stuff. It's actually idling at a decent speed. I don't feel like it's too fast. Don't feel like it's gonna explode a grenade. So I think we're pretty ideal. And this thing is, I don't know if I can get out of here, honestly. Look, I can't even see how far the rear end is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to ask for those Suburbans to be moved, but let's get this thing up there before anything happens. Drive. And of course it dies. Didn't really have to do much with the gas at all. Probably like 0.5% of the gas pedal was used. All right, let's try this again. Actually, let me check my transmission fluid level first, see how that's going. All right guys, so it just ran perfectly again. Of course it's off to the shut off. I basically topped off the rest of the transmission fluid and finally at the full level, so that's good. It was a neutral idling. Yeah, I don't know, I guess it died down when it was sucking up the extra fluid. Yeah, once again, it's just this fine tuning stuff's what always gets you. I don't know, now it's just dying again. I don't know what's going on. I think the timing is advanced enough. Should be. Maybe I should retard it just a teensy bit. You hear a little something that sounds like it's just on the verge of being too advanced, but not really big enough to, I guess, warrant worrying about. So I feel like it's just, I mean, there might be a vacuum leak because I do hear but who knows if that's just the carburetor itself. No, wasp, you cannot come on the journey. Hey, go away. No, get out of there, stupid wasp. Ah, forget it. These things are always getting on my nerves. I mean, it literally drives at this point. It's just, we got to get it out of here. And we got to make sure this doesn't start. Hey, and these things are like half the reason why I can't even do some stuff. They're always flying in my way. I don't know, I might retard it just a tiny bit. All right, just retarded a tiny little bit and put some tiny amount of fuel in the carb and let's see what it does. See how that delay kind of, yep, it does nothing. So I think I probably retarded it a little bit too much. Back to the drawing board. All right, round 3064. It might still be a teensy tiny bit too advanced. I don't know, I don't think that'll or anything. I guess I can try to just move it easy, barely like that. I think I could finally tighten the distributor up. I didn't hear any weird ping or whatever you want to call it, that little indicator that you're too advanced. So I think we're just like teensy hundredths of degrees within the right timing. So that could give us a base of what else we need to do. The floor. It's a little more responsive. Looks like it's probably gonna rain soon. What's up? So we're gonna what? No, I'm just getting it ready to get out of here. You don't mind being on video, do you? All right, I think that's about as good as we're gonna get it, because if we look at this angle, the angle right here, it looks like we should be able to drive straight, make a little turn. We're gonna go out this way and we're gonna go around there through that gate and we will be out of here. So, I mean, I guess to answer the question of does this car run and drive? Does it run and drive well? Does it idle well? The answer is yes, but we still gotta drive it back though. So the answer is only 75% there. Look at this guy. This little guy's running, it's not overheating, it's not stalling weirdly. It only stalls if you stand on the brake while you're in gear for a while. So we gotta fix some idle issues, but other than that, it's pretty good. And it starts right up too, even after it dies. But it looks like our fine tuning was right enough for the sake of getting it home. We just gotta make sure we don't mess up and we're straight. What? Yeah. You can say so. With what? Oh, it was just a distributor and then it needed a fuel pump.
So what's wrong with that, though?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, you're...
This one, what you hear?
A vacuum leak?
Right.
Ah, I just died.
You got a major vacuum leak.
Yeah.
Look at the upper intake.
Upper intake?
Hey, look at the vacuum hose on.
Yeah, there's some vacuum.
Yeah, but he probably got a vacuum hose on the back of the van.
Yeah, now that I believe is hooked. That I believe is hooked up because I replaced it and there are all the lines on there. It was good.
You want me to come look at it?
Nah, I got everything sorted out. It's just I've been doing this for like quite a bit.
Look, the car sounds good. I come over there and do what I do. You pull out this run it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Not today. I just basically moved it so it could be at another spot so I could easily get it out another day. Yep, pretty good vehicle. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. Nice to meet you. BG? Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah, for sure. Next time I see you, sounds good. Appreciate the advice. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It idles good, but sometimes it'll stall. But it's not as bad as it was before, though. I will say that. It's not as bad as it was before. My theory is because, of course, once again, it's not tuned to 100%. It's only tuned to like 75%. Fuel filter is not full. I don't know if that has to do with anything, but I mean, there's fuel in there. Yeah, it just needs...
Where the carburetor top is?
Is that what?
Where the carburetor top is?
It's right here.
I don't give a right tire from the fade.
Yeah. Careful, it's probably hot.
Crank it.
So what? All right. How much what? Money? Enough, I guess. I got some. Enough.
Let me tell you what's wrong with this over.
Sure. Wait, was there any like cost to it?
Information costs money.
Say what?
Knowledge is the key of wisdom, right?
Yeah.
See, knowledge that you don't know, you pay for knowledge that you don't know. That's the reason why you go to school.
Yeah.
Now, street knowledge, you learn that from the streets. So you get out here on the streets, you'll learn knowledge. Different knowledge if you take it in and comprehend.
Yeah.
That's on you, you know what I'm saying? Because something ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
A nigga get out here to just live this shit and end up dead, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Crank the car.
Yeah, that black stuff.
This car been built up. The two barrel, they already bent the pin a little bit. So when you dump it, damn, two barrel ain't open. See, cut the two-brass motor open like it's wide open. It ain't wide open.
Yeah.
That's always been just wide open.
Yeah, that's the setting when it's like warmed up.
Nah, but you don't want it like that though. You need to go get another two-brass. See, they already rebuilt this. See, look, let me show you something. Look, it's already been rebuilt. See it?
The screws.
Yeah, the car already been rebuilt. Then look, I should have noticed this right here anyway. Teflon tape.
Yeah.
Man, enjoy your video, man. Watch this when you get home. And you need another radiator because it's leaking right here.
Yeah. Yep.
It's leaking right there. Get another steel radiator.
Steel radiator?
Yeah. Go to Radiator Plus. You got an account with it?
No, not yet.
Make an account with Radiator Plus.
Gotcha. I appreciate your help. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, explain what you were gonna say about the engine.
Basically, I was just helping this guy, I don't even know your name, Matthew. I was helping Matthew out here. He was wondering why it was shutting off, and I told him to look at his EGR valve, seeing how there's no vacuum line hooked up to it. When it heats up, it opens up, so then vacuum shuts the motor off because it's supposed to be vacuum powered, so it's supposed to open and close. I forget what it's supposed to close, but so basically it's just stalling the engine out.
This was just the breather.
Yeah, I don't know why some of these things are like really pricey, these air cleaners.
With me though, personally, what I would do is just run a tube off this and run it to like the front of the car. That way you can get that nice cool air instead of suck up hot air. But
yeah.
My question is, why does everybody want it now that you just bought it?
Dude, I don't know,
this car was
man.
sitting here for a couple months before even you purchased it.
And literally no one.
That took me conning you into actually purchasing it.
Dude, and now all of a sudden, and what I'm really ticked about is I don't know who did it. Somebody, I don't know, maybe they reached in here and pulled up the door handle, but like the door was unlocked, and I'm very sure I had locked it. Sleazy scumbags. All of a sudden, they all want the Newport. Oh, yeah.
Out of curiosity, does the window go down? I was about to say, man, I do have duct tape in case we have to duct tape this in place.
We gotta get this car out of here. This is too sketchy of a place, and I do not want to have any more encounters.
Shop moment, as they say.
Bro, this is just the worst place. Like, and I had to learn it the hard way a couple of times, but now we're finally gonna get this car out of here, guys. Welcome back. Blah 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 blah. We're gonna drive this thing out of here. I don't care what it takes. I mean, I do care what it takes, but I know it's going to do good.
Do we still have to flip the thing or not?
Well, apparently we don't have to, because one of the things that the other guy did, which actually kind of helped, is when he put the air cleaner on, this was off the camera, but he was trying to see if it would stall. So he flipped the lid and actually put it on there completely, and it actually didn't stall. It didn't even bog down.
Remember, for a long time, if we flipped it over, it wouldn't go. Then we had to put it on the wrong way, so that way it could slam more air into it.
Let me see, screw this battery in. Yeah, guys, I don't know what's going on. It's like ever since, actually, we know what it really is. I noticed after I got it running, that's when more people started kind of coming around, because every time it was running, every time I was starting it, every time it was cranking and running, more people started coming around. But when I was working on it and it wasn't running, less people got a mosquito, less people started coming around.
Random side note, this thing actually has a spring on the bottom where you can actually drain it. Look at this, get a little spigot on it. This is a copper radiator. You could just, that's nice about this sucker, you could just flush the sucker out. Don't knock yourself unconscious, or it's gonna look weird to have you slumped over in the passenger seat when you drive around and drive this.
Yeah.
You gotta let the person who has this all sorted out. I'm just here as backup.
Well, I mean, I could get around that Maxima, I guess. I can't push that Maxima back. That tire's flat. I don't know. I should still be.
I got an idea. We'll straight out this way and just back it out. I know you don't want to back it out, but you want to have to back that sucker out.
You know, it's actually not a bad idea.
Because you have more room to go. Because what you can do is pull this way, go this way, put it this way, and just. You might actually have enough room where you can get it maneuvered. You got it.
Think so? Wait, maneuver where?
Look, you have a good 10 feet between cars right there.
The only obstacle would be whether like it stalls and I gotta keep restarting it. But I mean, that's not the end of.
Back inside the car. I'm not gonna hook it up. Just get it ready.
All right. You know what?
The bad part is
I'll let you put it in there.
Now I gotta make sure I put the window down.
Don't roll it all the way down. Roll it a little bit up. Or, I don't think it matters. Coolant thing.
Is that worst case scenario? We need coolant. We just throw distilled water in it.
I mean, I don't think we'll need coolant. It's warmed up enough and it's never overflowed anywhere.
Yeah, we're doing the highway too, so it's gonna be constant airflow. We're purposely doing highway so we have not as much stopping and going. And it's a Sunday, so.
Well, looks like it's. Welcome to.
I forgot about it. I forgot you had rubber pads.
Welcome to 5 mile per hour bumper period.
Where, if I need to push this car, my truck will do it.
Well, all right, guys. I'm just gonna get this fuel system hooked up, and we're gonna do that and be on our way.
Trip thing, making sure nothing's gonna fall off.
Pre-trip inspection.
Make sure the tires are still inflated.
They should still be inflated.
I think I have a tire pump in my truck, but we're gonna be here for 20 minutes trying to get that thing. Have you ever opened the trunk?
No, actually.
We need to do a trunk review on this.
We need to, bro, this whole
Make sure there's no
time.
dead bodies in this before we take it somewhere.
Right.
Because we
We
never
will.
opened the trunk on this.
Yeah, we'll do when we get there. That was the plan because
I'll have the 9mm ready in case it's a bunch of raccoons.
don't hurt the
I
wildlife.
don't want a bunch of rabies shots.
Get
man.
the take one for the team. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Nah, I'll be like, you'll meet a Volvo after.
These seats actually fold up, believe it or
It
not.
looks like all the structure's still there, so maybe for them. I don't know, we're just talking about replacing them outright, aren't we?
I was, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it a shot and just try to do the upholstery. Like, yeah, the structure is there. Like, you know, it's funny. Someone was actually like the manager guy was actually telling me that there was another guy who was looking for seats. No, it was actually he was right there by the Impala. He was looking for seats. I mean, he was telling me that if I ever wanted to sell these seats, like just let him know, and I guess he'll sell them to the guy, or I'll sell them to the guy because he was looking for. I don't know what he was trying to look for. It was some sort of bench seat, I think, or I can't remember. Welcome to 70s Chrysler
You
technology.
could use like a beer opener. Don't give me that look. You know I'm right.
That's your first thought of a seatbelt?
It looks like a beer opener.
Hey, maybe we should let you drive another day.
No, just ice cold Coca-Cola for illegal reasons.
Yeah, ice cold Coca-Cola.
Jet Eric, look at your vents. You look at the side profile of this car, and it looks like a fuselage style.
You know what's funny about that you just mentioned it? Do you know what type of era car this specific Chrysler is? It's a fuselage style.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, fuselage. Made it look like a jet style.
Yeah, they based the little body lines, the side panels, like you can see they kind of arch down a little bit. They're a little rounded instead of like square and boxy.
Side profile of it kind of reminds you of a fighter jet almost. Late 60s, early 70s.
Yep.
You went to the stupid boxy stuff. Man, you gotta have a round body line.
Some people say they look like futuristic and stuff. Some people they'll be like, oh, it's modernized, roundish, round off. Yeah, it is a pretty decent style. I'm digging it. I dig it on these old Moper based cars. I think it was on everyone, like the Plymouth, some Dodges, of course Chrysler, and then what else? There's Imperial is kind of in between. It's like it's standalone, but it's not.
You know what's bad? This car's actually not that bad.
You think so?
Dude, that frame rail's solid as hell in the back of this.
Yeah, honestly, it's really, if you get under like the bones and the structure, it's really not all.
Surface rust there, it's just sand down. What do you think about using white truck bed liner to redo the top? Because that's literally all this is it's not cloth, it's like a paint.
I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do that because, like, you know, I'm actually really glad about all these cars apparently had like every single hardtop had a vinyl roof, at least with the coupes.
But yeah, actually, this is actually where the, you know, when they want the roofs on, you can actually see that seam right there.
Here?
Yeah, you can actually see the seam right there.
Oh.
The seam right there. This car's not bad. I mean, I wouldn't want to wreck it because it's a 70s car, but I'm just saying it's not gonna.
I mean, look, man, it's a car from the 1970s. What do you really expect?
You see worse on Memphis roads.
Most of these, if you let the vinyl top on too long, one, the vinyl top would be trashed anyway, especially on this car, and then the roof would be probably a little bit, you know, Swiss cheesecake.
It's gonna suck though, because I'm gonna be chilling in my ice cold AC in my truck, and Matt's gonna be over here like sweating to death.
Man, it's not the first time I sweated to death. It doesn't matter.
F-250. This thing's about as big as your F-250 in terms of length. I don't know. That'd be an interesting comparison. I'll put up your F-250 right next to it and do a size comparison.
Yeah. You know what's funny? There's a Suburban, full-size Suburban right there.
And this thing makes it look small. Makes a Suburban look tiny.
This thing makes the Suburban look like a mouse. This thing makes the Suburban look like a Lego. It's literally like if you put this Suburban directly next to it, I don't even think it would. Oh goodness, if only we had like a tape measure.
Let's see here, foot and a half. That's like 3 feet. Why am I doing this? I can just look at the lengths of these cars.
Or yeah, what are you doing?
Two Suburban lengths.
I'm gonna put this tank in there before fuel starts evaporating fast.
The car's 19.5 feet long. So let me take that 219 from the other one and divide it by 12. You look at Newport, it gives you 2 feet. You look at that, it's like 18 feet.
18 feet?
You're a foot longer than a Suburban.
A foot longer?
You're a foot longer. This is 19 feet long. This is only 18.5 feet long.
You're telling me a coupe is a foot longer than a...
Look, you can even tell, even with this on perpendicular, this is a slightly longer car.
Yeah?
That's it right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's old school Newport, you know, old...
What they want for it?
I already got it. I already got it.
What's the pay for it?
$1,500 out the door. Think that's a good... Hey, you think so? Yeah, I got duct tape. Yep, it would slide.
It came out my Delta 88.
Yeah. Oh wow, Delta 88. Yeah. This is a Moper product. I don't know why people are talking about 454s and Moper products, man.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
I guess we stop doing that and actually get out of here. It's sounding kind of hot.
Yeah, it is.
let's see if the Newport's gonna be good today. This is round how many? She sounds mean though. I don't tell me you need transmission fluid. I just revving it for the hell of it. Actually, doesn't want to die after you rev it. That's always a good sign. This here is just one of the biggest land yachts I've seen, and this thing is probably would have been bound for the crusher, but everyone now wants it because this guy right here got it going. So here goes. In her off. Hey, the front brakes work. Back's not so much. Hey, Matt, I got you on this side. Matt, hold it. Go back to your, what do you call it? Pull math ways. Right now. I get this side for you, Matt. I get the side for you. Keep cutting it, keep cutting it. I think you got it, you got it. Here she goes. To freedom. Now I gotta go close the gate back.
No crusher. Oh, I'm so sorry guys. I thought I was filming, but I was not. The brakes work. 100%. We're driving out of the junkyard. This is ridiculous. Look at this. She ain't even, wow. She's not even dying. I could be on the brake. And, wait a minute, am I in second? Oh. Literally just died. Sorry, my camera's really shaky. But wow, that is crazy. All right, yeah, I think I was probably in second gear. I don't know, but that was. See if it fires back up. She fires right up. Oh. Will she stay running? No. Okay, well, I'm gonna go pull over there. All right, I'm gonna, a little bit of gas. I'm gonna turn way over here. All right. Come on. Oh, why? All right, guys, I'll be right back. Gonna move this thing and blah, blah. All right, guys, so now we've stalled in the parking lot, of course, but we're just trying to get the... All right.
And I'm going to try to lift this zip tie around the battery. Now we have redundancy. If this went around the whole body of it, we should keep it from vertically shifting sideways. Let's see here. That's what I'm worried about right there.
So as long as we don't take any super sharp turns, we'll be pretty much fine.
I don't know the Archer sold zip ties this big. See me on this. See me on this. Pick it up. Set up in the ground. You have enough slack in it. You already
oh, it's actually pretty.
It's not like you zip tied up or right strapped it down. And if you get a fuel leak, it already has built-in drainage.
All right.
I would say fill it up at Love's because, you know, it's just, why not? It's literally right there. I'll make sure I can pull in behind you and make sure.
All right.
I like pet peeve with this car. So much unwanted attention from sketchy people.
Telling me, man, I just don't understand. Especially it's like, it's been sitting there all this time, and then all of a sudden the audience wants to.
People taking advantage of our young labor.
Yeah, right. All of a sudden the stadium wants to come out to look at it and talk about it. Well, not talk about it, but like you seen yourself. They ask how much you pay for it, how much you pay at first. They don't ask about the car.
Because I'm gonna offer you a little bit more.
Yep. And this sleazeball
like
area.
A little under $2,000, right? All of a sudden, done parts and car included. What under $2,000?
$1,300 out the
car total, car and parts included.
Oh, car and parts.
I was gonna say a little under $2,000, right?
Yeah, probably, maybe like somewhere around.
Fuel costs are going out if you're doing it. They're ready to roll. I hope.
Yep.
Oh, that thing's going flat.
It's going flat. What?
Look at that. I got a tire plug kit on me.
Well, actually, I don't know if is it really going flat?
It is.
Man, do you think Do you think this is really a, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, on the surface, no, it's not a good idea to drive this thing, but
we need to, like, once you get done with this video, you need to put a warning before and after video. Do not attempt this.
yep. Why am I driving on dry rotted tires? This is the stupidest thing on the planet.
We still gotta do a trunk review.
You said what?
We gotta figure out what's in the trunk now.
No, not now.
Not now, we gotta save it for later.
Man, do you want to?
For like having illegal narcotics. The previous owner used it the whole white light beam.
I don't. I was.
Moonshine. Because think
I
about
really.
it. Wouldn't this be a good car to haul moonshine? It's got the big.
Yeah, but
we got a semi-powerful motor.
I really don't want to be here too much longer.
There we go. I'm gonna have to grease the hinges at some point.
All right, let's try and stop it, loves. All right, well, guys, just for last time, the Newport is finally out of the yard after all these months. Goodness gracious, this thing's technically been at this yard in general for over a year, but look at that. That car wants to run. It wants to get out of here, but actually, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if it completely wants to get out of here. I mean, it does, but we got a lot of work to do, though. This is all just a temporary patch shop. Loves truck stop.
Because they was over there messing with it yesterday. So I was there, I locked the gate. I said, man, somebody already bought this car, man. I call him Mustang, hot Mustang. He bought the car. So dude's like, man, I ain't seen one so long, man. I want that car.
We see it on YouTube. I see it on YouTube, and it's not like these are expensive cars. Like, how many of these have I seen you on Facebook for sale?
Yeah.
You seen one of these for sale on Facebook?
No.
No, I did.
Dude.
Remember I seen a link to a 4-door one and a 2-door one.
A Newport?
Yeah, Newport.
Yeah, but that's like,
chassis.
that was all the way up in like New York or something, though.
One in New York.
Yeah.
There's a couple around Mississippi. There's some in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Alabama has.
But I hadn't seen any of these cars. I hadn't seen them. And the guy, he was so excited. I think he was from Mississippi. He was like, yesterday, he was like, man, can I just go out there and look? I'm like, man, that's somebody's car. No, you can't go out there.
Dude.
Yeah, but every time I look around, like somebody's asking about this car. They were messing with it. Hold on, man, it's somebody's car. Oh, it ain't for sale? He already bought it. He been working on it.
Of course, somebody gets interested after you put all the work to get it running.
That's what I'm saying. Before this car was running, when I was like over the hood and it wasn't running, I'm telling you.
Nobody was like, what you doing do with it? They just come over there just.
Yeah.
You think you'll get it
tire
running?
kickers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As soon as he get it running, man, I want that car, man. I want it, man. It's been my dream car. I've been wanting one for years,
man.
You're like, man, we've had this thing for months.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So all of a sudden, now you want it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not getting it.
Right. Forever. They had many months to get it.
Yeah, they've been having time to get that car.
All right.
See y'all later, man.
All right, see you, man. All right, guys, it's time to get out of this place. We got to get rolling, and I hope this car starts up again. I really don't want to have to do any more. Stay on the gas. All right, there are cars moving, and I don't have time to be in front of people slowing people down. Come on, white car, are you gonna go or not? Great, now people want to leave all of a sudden. All right, I think we're good. Steady throttle. And of course we die again. Da-do-da-do-da-do. Of course we die again. Alright, so I guess we just stop here. At least it starts up though. Oh yeah, baby, we are cruising. I think we got second. Oh, she's driving from the junkyard. She ain't getting crushed. I can't see anything out the rear mirrors. Into the truck stop. Into the truck stop. We stalled out at the kind of the perfect place. Oh, brother. I hope none of these trucks have to leave. Manual brakes. One pump. Didn't time that correctly. Oh no! I should have probably backed up. Oh well. I think we'll be fine. Bro, this is the most stupidest thing we've done. Well, actually, it's more my fault because I'm the guy who orchestrated this whole mess. Oh, great. Well, this is interesting. Hey guys. Well, we just pulled up to the next to Gen Z. Sorry. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to fill up the tank, the boat tank, and just call it a day. Wonder what they're doing here. There must be a field trip or something. We got a trailer there. Yeah, we gotta get that transmission stuff. Transmission leak fixed. Faceplate for bottom front of the transmission is not there, so that's fun. I don't want to do all of that. All right, guys, we're blah 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 blah, filling it up. What the heck? This place is weird. We gotta get out of here. Hear that weird goat sound? Premium, blah blah blah. Tidying up. Okay, so 3 gallons. So we technically used half a gallon. You think we'll be fine with 5 gallons?
You have the extra couple gallons in the tank.
That should be about perfect enough. Where are these noises coming from? I'm gonna close the tank up. All right, guys, before we go, we're at the Love's truck stop. Here it is, look at it. First time outside the junkyard. First time outside the junkyard. It's not going to be, well, it's not going to be neglected. Really nice car. Now, let's get back to it. Island. All right. Safety window roll down. Oops. Let me make sure I have my card. All right, let's roll. Oh, come on! No! Man, why did the lady have to be walking right there? It's literally the worst possible. Everything is literally always timed Guess what? I don't know when the camera cut off. I'm sorry, but it drove home. I'm surprised. Well, I'm not. I don't know. Should I be surprised? I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I was really worried about this tire right here. This one was the one I was worried about. Isaac was worried about the. Was it this one?
Front one, because I can see it splitting.
Yep.
Right there.
Look at this. It's not in it. It's not in it. I really can't believe it. It made it back. We did it. We didn't even stop. Well, we stalled a couple of times, but we got back up.
I bet that thing has flat spokes in it.
Yep. I think that's what I was feeling. I wasn't thinking about it. It was like a mini shaking. Like not shaking, but you know, you could feel like a little unevenness. No.
Oh, God.
What?
She's hemorrhaging coolant.
Oh, man.
Do not, Matt, do not pop that hood.
Oh, dude.
I got a face full of coolant. Hey, well, good news is, hey, at least it made it, then did it.
Yeah, at least it made it, then did it. Oh, boy, this is great. Now the ground's going to be soaked in coolant lug.
Oh, I bet the overflow tank went out.
Yeah, probably so.
No, the radiator.
It's probably the radiator.
You need another radiator leaking right there.
So glad that did not happen on the road. What happened? What happened, car?
Oh, that's your radiator.
Yeah, the radiator. Do you think that's the radiator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a pop.
That radiator was leaking, though. You heard a pop, like, right when you opened it?
No, no, that's why you told me. I'm like, hold up a second. You're like, wait, what was that? So I was around the back, I heard a pop, heard a side pop, then I heard a like, oh fudge. That's why he told me quickly. I tried to get the hood and I got steam back in it.
Well,
no, but look, it burst up here somewhere. No, you're kidding. They aren't joking. They say coolant tastes sweet. What the heck gave out? My girlfriend said she wants to see what's in the trunk because we were talking about it. I mean, but I don't think anything else is going to surprise me anymore. That was funny though, just pop.
And it was right when we were going under the hood.
I like that, some dude paragliding.
Oh yeah, they were doing that
Let's not do that before they actually think we're going to take pop shots at them.
Shoots through the holes. That would be a douche move. Oh, it works. What's in the trunk? Whoa.
Holy crap.
What? A battery.
And a toe strap, brake booster, and a jack.
And a jack. Wow.
And a battery.
Hey, there's a grill in there. There's a grill in there. Look.
And trim.
Trim. What the heck?
Ah, I was stuck. I was like, nah, don't be stuck. Your hood trim. Oh, that's the original. Feel that. I know that's original. Look how heavy that is.
Wow. Oh my goodness. This is a.
Headlight bezel. Oh, there's a license plate right there.
Oh, license.
See what the license plate says.
Oh, how many years? Oh, trim piece bezel. How many years has this thing been sitting? Oh, come on, don't tell me this is going to be difficult to get out. Spare tire, and it's not dry rot, it's death. Come on. This is pissing me off. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do the proper intro. What is in the trunk? All right, let's get back to it. Guys, how long has this car been sitting? You ready?
I'm going to say since the 90s. I'm going to say 90s.
There's no way it's been sitting since the...
Called
what?
It. Called it.
93?
But look where it's... Tennessee.
Dude,
that's cool. So it's
bro, was it really sitting since 94? This is crazy. This thing sat for 30 years and drove home. What the heck? I thought this thing only sat for like probably 5, I don't know. Did this thing really sit for 30? It's 2024. That's like 30 years. Run and drive out.
Oh, wait. Here we go. Obviously, mouse.
Where? Oh.
At least it's not raccoons. A bunch of spark plugs. Right here. It's a brand new part.
Oh, what is that? Is it brand new? Oh. Carburetor.
Dude.
What the? A carburetor?
That's big money, man.
Wow, we got a carburetor? Bro, this is like...
I mean, it's not...
But does it work? Does it work, though? Is it good?
I need some stuff.
Wait a second,
Parts
dude.
carb.
Parts carb?
Yep. Dude, these are always rebuildable. It's not new, but it's... No, it's definitely old, new. The reason I say that... No, it might be old, but the fact that I had it wrapped up in plastic tells you that it at least had some value to it.
Probably would have been a lot more...
I'm trying to figure out where I'm stupid dumb. Oh, gosh, where's this? That's a good carb. That is valuable. Even if this is junk, this still has valuable parts.
I think the guy who was talking to me said like Rochester something. The guy who was trying to... What?
Holly? It's a Holly carburetor.
Holly?
This is a performance carb.
What? Performance? A 2-barrel performance?
That alone, man. Somebody will buy that off you. Dude, all these parts, think about all the parts we don't need. Sell. Get money to go towards carb.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it literally did it. Like, it just came here and vomited on the ground. Whatever busted up here. Guys, we drove home on Sears tires. Sears tires. It doesn't get any more hilarious than this.
Yeah, they are Sears tires. Here's what they are. Sears white walls. Radial tire, steel belted. The closer we cut through tires, man, I would have been...
Oh my goodness. It really... Sears. That is just...
We got stupid. I'm trying to find a date code on this because this is the old as hell tire. Max load is 1,800 pounds per tire. This is like almost a truck tire in terms of weight. 35 PSI max.
Not gonna lie.
Standard load. Made in the USA.
We literally did this on hopes and dreams. There's no way any of this was logical. The only logical thing was the how-tos of how to replace the pump and the blah blah and the distributor and the alternator.
I can't find a date code on it. That's what scares me.
Maybe it's because it's a Sears tire and Sears does not exist, so there are no dates anymore. Probably why they went out of business. They don't put dates on their tires. Sorry, Sears. Oh, I can still smell the antifreeze from here. This is crazy. This thing sat for 30 years and drove home. Alright guys, welcome back. Today we are back with the Newport. And I got some great news guys. Throughout the period of this month, since the first time we uploaded about getting this, we have finally got some parts. We got some parts. We also have a new camera stick. So now the videos probably won't be as shaky anymore and we'll probably be able to get some good angles. We'll be able to do more stuff, more shots with this. We also brought our specialty bag of tools. So these are just some random spare tools that I figured would probably be useful. Of course, you got a tape measure. We're going to use this to cut the fuel line. And long story short, we're going to come today and we are going to attempt to get this guy started.